Brandon.
And in a world of legendary moments will be captured. So stand up, scream, and make sure the boys feel you.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Well, good evening, everybody. What's going on, everybody? Yes, it started last night. We will get into Hard Knocks, but before we do that, I'd like to welcome my partner in crime. He's a little under the weather, so let's all welcome Primetime Phil. What's going on, Phil? What's going on, my man?
I gotta unmute myself. Let me
Yes.
unmute myself from the beginning. That's
There
what
it is.
I gotta learn.
There it
No, I
is.
just got a little bit of a headache. It'll go away and stuff like that. Took something for it, but I'm ready. I'm ready. I was ready. As soon as we started talking, and then you threw that trailer, and I think I'm ready to leave. Wow, that sucks. No, I got to give Hard Knocks credit. I think it continues this tradition of taking the most irrelevant team and making them the Hard Knocks focus. And congratulations.
Wow, irrelevant. You're going to go hard on that. I think their defense is going to be pretty damn
I think it's
good.
got drama. They got drama. That's what it is. What are you going to do without Saquon? What are you going to do with this crappy quarterback that you're paying a lot of money for? What are you going to play with this defense that you just add one piece to? Like, it's just, there's just so many more exciting teams that you could have covered. And again, if you're going to do the Giants, here's the thing. If you're going to do the Giants before the season starts, please do the Giants in the middle of the season. Let's continue it. At least let's see what happens later on.
Supposedly this was took place during the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
When they signed Burns, when Eagles snaked them with Saquon Barkley, overpaid for Saquon.
I think it's a little bit better because they usually jump later on is when they jump into that stuff. And so I got to give them credit in the sense of at least jumping on the team that they were going to focus on and get into it early and let's get that behind the scenes stuff. That's what makes the whole Hard Knocks thing amazing. I think what baffles me is the guy that played Logan, Sabretooth and the Logan thing was the guy that does the voice. To me, they don't go together.
Right. Oh, I got the dreaded analytics that said, we've detected some content that wasn't yours. It's a friggin' trailer, people. YouTube is ridiculous.
I'm trying to give you views and stuff like that, and you're over here strike.
Nah, I don't know what it is. It was just a minute the preview. They should be happy that we're sharing the Hard Knocks.
Maybe anyway, YouTube doesn't like the fact that you're sharing HBO stuff. It's just like, man, you know what? How dare you?
It's Max, actually. They don't call it HBO anymore. But
that's right. Well, how dare I?
Let me see analytics. I don't know. It'll probably
they don't
be
call it the
copyrighted.
Redskins anymore. They call it the Commanders. And how bad is that?
They didn't shut me down, so we're good. We shall see, though.
Got a good chat going on here. I love it.
Yes, we got Loyal Cowboy in here. We got one Mailhead crew in here. What's going on, man?
What's going on? Happy early 4th of July.
Happy early 4th. I got to start drugging my dogs now. It looks, as soon as I start hearing.
Y'all having the fireworks tonight?
We got idiots.
No, he just wants to make sure they're kicked in just in case those, there's always those neighbors that do it, the day before, day after, a couple of days later.
Weeks later.
Yeah, exactly. You always got those neighbors. So,
yep.
So we got Brad Harrison here. He gets the grand prize. Well,
Brad Harris is one of those neighbors. I think that's what it is.
We're $30 short away from giving out a prize, but yes, Brad,
Brad was the first.
Not
Y'all got
that you
any
don't
big
pretty
plans?
much have everything. Brad, the plaque did go out today, so hopefully you get it, and hopefully by the weekend, bro. There's Rob A is in the house. There he is. Feels like, yeah, good. I can get out of here.
No. I'm here.
We got Curtis. What's up, Curtis? We got Tommy Montoya. I see you got your stuff, brother. How are you feeling,
Nice.
man? How are you feeling? I sent it to you because I worry about you, bro. I hope that just adds a little bit of something to your day. I appreciate you, Tommy. We got our man Prime Time, who's in the chat, also in here. Arturo, what's up, my man? Hello, internet friends. How's everybody? We're doing good, man. Loyal Cowboys in here. CZ, good evening, everybody. Happy 4th. Happy 4th. Happy 4th. Who else we got? West Virginia Country
Cowboy.
Boy.
Yeah, Country Boy.
You got Chris May. I'm sure he might be popping in here once he pulls his pizza out of the oven. Asman 30, what's up? Philly D, right down the street. We got Philly Clemente.
Hey, Asman, when you going to open up a Pink's?
Yeah, man.
It's
We need
Cowboys.
a Pink's down in down near Cleveland. I don't know if I'd eat a Pink's from Cleveland. I don't know, man.
Oh, they got Pink's in Cleveland?
No, I don't know. Mark Hutchton.
Oh.
What's up, Mark? How are you, man? Kid Cowboy. There he is, Mr. Positive.
I like the outro. Mojitos.
Oh, I can go for a mojito. I'm not actually drinking nothing tonight. I got
we do this thing like at our venue and stuff like that when we're bringing in guests and stuff, and so it's very tropical and stuff. And the mojito is definitely one of those drinks that they like to toast all at the end of the meeting. And I'm not a big mojito fan. I'm not a big
I
mojito.
love mojitos.
Yeah, everybody else thought I'm like, I guess I'll have to if I have to.
Give me a Cuba Libre.
But, I went to Florida. They're
That's my
expensive
thing right
down
there.
though,
I
man.
know.
I paid like $15 for one little glass. I was like,
Hey,
damn.
it's just like anything, man. Location, man. You can have a drink anywhere, but when it's next to a palm tree, somehow the inflation happens.
I had one, and then after that, I just went to the liquor store and just got my liquor. I was like, I'm cool with that.
Hey, JoJo. Philly D. It's the Phil's year. Oh, you're in the hopper, my man. What's going on, Philly D? Thank you so much. We'll see, man. I kind of think so, too, but it's a long season, Philly D. It's a long season. You are in the hopper for what? I don't know, but we'll come up with wrong camera. Yeah, I got to figure out why. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into it now, but it won't let me go to my other camera when I'm on OBS. So whatever. Thanks, Philly D.
Did you have a source for your other camera? That way you can hit the little eye thing where you.
Yeah.
I'll show you at some time. Don't worry about
that. Thanks, Philly D. Appreciate you, brother. Jojo, what's up, Jojo? Hello and good evening, Game Time, Prime Time, and everyone. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Yeah, I worked today. A little tired, but we're here. We're here. It's a lively chat as well. Let's see here. Mark Hutchin, what's up, brother? Okay. What's up, Rob A? What's going on, man?
Not much, my man. Just trying to stay cool over here.
Is it hot there?
It's mid-90s today. It's been cool these last couple of days.
Feels like that's nothing.
Low 80s. But
Yeah, well, we got a hurricane skimming our ass down here.
Really?
Yeah, we got that hurricane that's just passing through the Jamaica.
I heard
and
it hit Jamaica. Yeah,
it's just right up on our ass.
Jamaica.
Just like we're like, yeah.
Yeah, I know somebody who's in Jamaica. She lives not far from me, but she's been in Jamaica for like 5 weeks now. She's been there for like a month. She owns her own business, and she's like, I gotta come back, but she's staying through the hurricane. So, Roro, what's going on, Roro? So as we talked about the New York Football Giants, and down here everything is Eagles, obviously, and the local media is really skeptical. But we do know they have a lot of talent. It's funny how the mainstream media all of a sudden now is say, well, Dallas, well, hold up. You shit on us all off season, right? Now all of a sudden you're going to throw that out there. Why? I don't know. Dallas, to me, loyal, Rob and Phil, Dallas needs to show it at this point. It's like, as far as I'm concerned, I ain't talking any shit. I just got to hold my breath and see what happens out of the gate. What are your guys' thought on all the talk all of a sudden? Well, Dallas can win a division. It's like, whoa, hold up. Now all of a sudden you're jumping on that shit? I saw the ESPN was talking about, Dallas did nothing in the offseason. If they would be a Super Bowl contender. But coming out of the East, it's very possible. So what do you
Don't-
think?
Well,
Go ahead,
like I
guys.
told you before, all depends on the front office when they get
Yeah.
their head out their ass.
Yeah.
Do you mean if?
What's that?
Do you mean if,
If,
not when,
yeah.
but if?
You hope so.
Yeah,
so-
when I look at this team, it's like man, I love the young talent that comes through here, but again, like it's a broken record when you talk about it in the sense that we're paying our own guys, but again, you need to use that talent when it's young and when you're not paying it all. I mean, you're already deep into the whole quarterback contract. You have not had that whole rookie contract. The best time to win any kind of championship, let's be all real. We all know it's for the rookie contract for the quarterback. When
Yeah,
you can
that
build
window.
and that's the best time because you can actually afford all these name players on defense and they get picked apart later on when you win the Super Bowl if you even go to a Super Bowl. So that's the reason why we've been able to obtain talent. So let's just be real. Like, we hope as much as we love Osa Odigizua, for example, his contract's going to come up. Is that a guy that we can keep? All we can hope is that he doesn't perform as good. That's not a good thing to hope for as a Cowboy fan. And so I think you're just kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place with some of these guys, especially if you're going to start paying these main guys, CD Lamb and Dak. If you pay those guys and Micah right behind it, you can't really do much, man.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I was going to say, man. I mean, they keep complaining about we need to get this guy and this guy, but I mean, I want them to get paid, but at the same time, save some money so we can get some players in here. I mean, when they take all the money, what are we supposed to do? Go grab UFL players and hope
It's
they're
like-
going to be good?
And
It's
be
like the whole-
excited about it. Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of I get being skeptical or even being positive, but
I mean-
they're UFL players for a reason. A lot
I mean,
of them
there's a
have been in
reason
the
like
NFL.
Tom Brady and players like that were successful because they weren't greedy, man. I mean, they got their
Mhm.
payday, then after that, they said, okay, they made some commercials, made their little, side money or whatever, but they wanted to get some players too.
Yeah,
that's
Dak
what a lot of
kind of
these
reminds
players are
me
just-
of that kind of reminds me of what LeBron just did. LeBron
Yeah.
like, oh, I want to take a pay cut, for help us
Exactly.
get some signing, but then he takes the
Exactly.
most max contract, and it's like, dude, you're making interviews where you're like, well, I could get paid zero money and just pay this game for free, and it's just like, but you're obviously, holding the Joneses against themselves to pay you the most, or I'm going to go somewhere. It's to me, so you can't be that guy saying that oh, I'm willing to do this stuff and that stuff for the team, but then I'm a hard ball when it comes to trying to get my contract. But and I give them at least credit that when they talk about each other, they talk about at least, hey, yeah, he's trying to get the most out of his. They're not trying to bash each other. Again, that's what the media for Dallas is for, is to bash each other, is bash those players. So
Clemente, I was looking at the chat here. It says our UFL players did make the Pro Bowl. I mean, yeah, they're decent, but I don't even take the Pro Bowl seriously anymore.
No,
I
don't.
mean, as soon as
Everybody makes the
players,
Pro Bowl.
as soon as teams know they're going to the Super Bowl, all their Pro Bowl players drop out because they ain't thinking
Yes.
about the Pro Bowl. It's just flag
and then
football.
they replace them and those get credit. I don't like that. I do not
Yeah,
like that.
just-
No. Even if it's just paper, I just want a certain roster that makes it. Even if you never actually play the game, those guys are just Pro Bowlers. You don't actually play any kind of game. I don't really care. They could be playing like Connect Four in the fucking field. All I care, is like it's more entertaining than some of the crap that I've been watching for the past like 5 to 6 years. At least with
Mhm.
Battleship or something, I could be like, oh, that's surprising strategy that he stuck it all in the corner. Like I don't know, that could be at least surprising, but it's when this Pro Bowl, the only thing that's surprising about these Pro Bowls is where's the location going to be. So.
Mhm. I'd say they go back to old Pro Bowl football, put their pads on, and do like they do in the NBA. Have a Pro Bowl in about mid-season. Then see how many players are going to want to show up.
Yeah. Tommy Montoya, look at you. Thank you again, Game Time. God bless you. Tommy,
Tom.
thank you, brother. Thank you for,
Watching.
always being
Being
here
part.
and watching. And by watching, you support us. So I appreciate you, Tommy. Everybody, just make sure you say a prayer for Tommy. Tommy's not doing well. So
No, Clemente, I'm not saying that our kicker just made simple kicks. I'm just saying that the passion of the Pro Bowl, I mean, there's some good players on there that deserve to be in the Pro Bowl, but then there's other players that just got in because somebody else
Dropped
said,
out.
you know what, I'm going
Tyler
to the Pro
Biadasz.
Bowl. I don't even
Dropped
want to
out.
play.
Yeah, Tyler
Yeah,
That's
Biadasz,
all I'm
for
saying. I'm
example.
not saying our kicker ain't good.
I
I'm
think the
just-
only accolades you could really kind of think for is regular season's MVP and all pros.
Yeah,
I mean,
when you
either
start,
our offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year kind of thing. Pro Bowls anymore, it's just so devalued. You know, especially
Well,
when you're
plus-
the third, fourth one
hey,
going
Devil
in.
Dog, what's up, my
Plus,
man?
a lot of people get in with just the name alone. You know,
Real
and
fan.
Again, I'm not trying to talk shit about our teammates,
I agree.
but Zach Martin, not the best year that he'd had, but that guy was instantly one of those guys that would be pushed into the Pro Bowl
Listen,
situation.
Man, we got to start talking about UFL guys making a Pro Bowl when it happens to be special teamers for the most part. Cavante Turpin made it for a kick returner, and our kicker. It's nice and all, but you're grasping at straws.
Well, how much of the rest of the league
Let's
is actually
face it.
signing these guys? It seems to be a Dallas thing. It's
I said, well, this year because of Dallas, there was more
defense.
than usual. We signed 2 more. I nailed the 2. We'll see.
I'm more excited about the linebacker than I am the corner. To me,
Yeah,
the corner
yeah,
doesn't flash anything, and he's already been a draft pick in the NFL and kind of played in it. Unless you somehow come out and I went and meditated on a mountain 5 years and I came back and now I'm like this all pro corner that can see what the wide receiver is going to run. I mean, to me, that's the only thing that he could have. But the linebacker, I think that to me, I actually like that pick just because he reminds me a little bit of Dexter Coakley, just a linebacker that seems to be able to read out, get in there. I feel like he's going to get blocked every damn play. Let's just be real. And somehow he sneaks in there and gets in there. I don't know where he'll fit in this linebacking core, but I just know that we need guys.
Who was the guy that played for the Rams? He was undersized linebacker, but he's really good. I forgot his name. He was there in the 2000s when they won the Super Bowl.
Fletcher?
Yeah, that's how I think. Yeah, Lyndon. I liked
Fletcher.
him. He was good.
London Fletcher.
London Fletcher.
Yeah, he was a tank. I mean, he was stout, but I mean, man, he was a wall. He hit you, you're falling. Yeah, he was good. Very good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm texting my wife. You guys get to the chat, please.
So y'all got any big plans for tomorrow for the 4th? Cookouts or what?
No.
What you making?
Yeah, so I went out and I got a bunch of ribs, some hot dogs, some buns, some burgers, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm ready to just kind of celebrate. We'll do our thing during the day, and then we go into this place that's like this big sports complex. It has this huge like stadium, LED screen and stuff, jumbotron, and they play like movies like The Sandlot on there, and you can like park your chair on like the lawn, the field. And then, like when
Is
it's
that
like,
high
gets
school
dark,
right near you?
No. That's actually no. It's further down. It's like near the exit, near like you're going towards Miami. But there's a big sports complex that they just been building, and they're trying to get more people to come to and tourists to come to that spot to do like tournaments and everything. So they're doing like baseball fields, doing all this kind of stuff. And so they do that, and so you watch the movie, and then all of a sudden when the movie's done, you actually turn your chair just like 90 degrees, and then there's the fireworks, boom, just going off and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, bunch of food there. Like, yeah, it's just they give you no reason to want to leave.
Well, that's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
What's up, Drew? How you doing? What's going on, man? Get to the chat real quick. Like I said, it's kind of that's what I wanted to get to. The real fan won. Have the Pro Bowl take place in Hawaii like before. I've been crying for that. I hate what they do now.
Yeah,
I actually love.
And I live in Florida, and I'm like, yeah, man, put that shit in Hawaii. Like, it's
Well, I always loved the fact that you had it after the season. I like the build up. I mean, I don't need the Pro Bowl between.
I love the Super Bowl champions going there bragging,
Yeah,
with that little strut.
It's not fair. The Super Bowl champions or even the Super Bowl losers,
don't get to participate. Yeah, that sucks.
So you don't know, right? So I always liked it in Hawaii. It was at least it was football. What they're doing
Pro Bowl is
now
like a
kinda
participation
ridiculous.
trophy now.
Yeah,
They're like, you need to make it to the Super Bowl.
Right.
At least you get to participate in this. Yay! Congratulations.
You remember the one time?
all that says if you made it to your players made it to the Pro Bowl, then they just had a good year. It's just the individual, not the team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but
The voting was different
you
too.
know what I liked? I loved going to Hawaii. I loved the quarterback competition where they're throwing footballs down the field into like golf carts. I like that shit. I like
Hey, have the bag boy go out there
the
and run it. It's
obstacle
like,
course, but
bam.
in Hawaii. Why I don't know. I think maybe because I went to Hawaii a few years ago and I went by
I've never been. I've never been.
Oh,
Never
dude,
been.
it's
Never been
beautiful.
either.
My lord, I was lucky enough to go. I think I went for like 11 days or something.
Two of
It
my
was
brothers have
beautiful.
lived there. And I
They
never
live
went.
there,
Yeah, they lived there. One was stationed there. The other one went there to help.
and you've never
the
went and
situation.
visited. Where at? Which island? Oahu? You don't even know
Yeah, I don't know.
the big island where the hula bowl is and all. Anyway, well, that's for anyway.
If I told you, I had to kill you.
All right, okay, all right. That means shut up. All right, but yeah, I was. I loved it, and going by the Pro Bowl, they actually have flea markets there on the weekends in non-football. Yeah, because
I love flea markets. That's what I love. Yeah.
Buy you some
the
jerseys
University of Hawaii. He plays their home games there, but in the off season they'll have like flea markets out in the parking lot and stuff. It's just really cool. I don't know. I've always liked, I just would like to see it. What's up, Elena? How are you? What's going on? So, listen, we sit here 3 weeks away from training camp. And we'll start out with the Eagles, and then we'll go to Cowboys.
Boo. Okay, sorry.
Rob,
I had to, Rob. Sorry.
As a camp gets closer, are you more confident about your team? Because now you've heard all the BS, you've heard all the crap. Are you more confident about your team, less confident about your team, or the needle hasn't moved for you?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about the team. I mean, if our worst drama was, a guy that I never even heard of, stiffing a hooker or whatever, and all that. I mean, if that's the worst that we dealt with the exception of, Hurts, lack of support towards Sirianni. I mean, I think, winning kind of cures all things.
Exactly.
So I feel good about it. I mean, on paper, I think we look great. I like the Saquon move and everything. I just want Jalen to. I actually made it in the super chat in today's Mark Holmes things with Sills. That every year Jalen has had a different offense, and he's been to the playoffs the last 3 years and been to a Super Bowl. Even the year that we went to the Super Bowl, it was a new offense that year from him under Steichen. So it's nothing new to him. I mean, I know it probably gets redundant and tiresome to have to continue to learn a new offense, but Jalen's proven that he could do it. He's adapted to it. Every year he's had a new one, and still we've been in the playoffs the last 3 years. So I feel good about it. I think if he just learns the playbook. The first couple of games in the regular season, I think, is just going to be more of getting a feel for it, getting the timing down, getting the plays down, and doing a lot of handing off to Saquon and Shipley and Gainwell, so on and so forth, until they start clicking, kind of like how Dallas did last year. After I think game 4 or 5 with you guys, then all of a sudden you guys just took off, which was not good for me to see, but it's just the way it is. So I feel good. I feel good. On paper, we look good. We just got to apply it out there and see what these coordinators are all about.
Yeah, just since I'm a local here, I don't.
I'll piggyback off the.
Yeah, I don't think that the Eagles. I don't think the needles move one way or another. That's just part of being a Philadelphia Eagle. I'm surprised that Jalen did what he did. We've talked about it. They brought him in and said, Jalen, just make sure you have his back, and he went out of his way not to. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But like Rob said, I think winning cures all ills. Just like last year, I don't really, I don't think I talked to Rob about what he was thinking through that 10-1. But if you really looked into it, they were doing it with mirrors. Not that they weren't playing good, but they were kind of getting lucky. You saw everything was working their way, and they weren't playing great, but yet they were winning. Yeah. Go ahead, Phil.
No, the balls. Yeah, you're right. The balls were bouncing away when they'd fumble it. Boom, it would just right back into them. There were some situations where the ball, those games could have got away with them. Like when I look at them, I would say if you're an Eagles fan, you have to be excited about the offense at least.
It's stacked.
Yeah,
It really is.
you lose a piece, but I mean you gain at least a running back that's really good at zone running.
Mm.
Again, just behind a New York Giants line that hasn't been able to block anything. So I think you're going to finally be able to see him finally do something into the NFL. Again, as any kind of like fan, your whole thing is to want to try to improve. And if you're not improving, at least you're changing or trying to improve. And what was the weakness there? It was that offense itself. So they went and changed it. Kellen Moore, he tends to run more shorter type of routes, or reverse things like that. This team is built, I think, a little bit more for that. And I think Jalen will benefit from it. If you have to question anything, I think it's the defensive side of the ball. I think that defensive side of the ball reminds me a lot of what Dallas is right now, and just in the sense that you're relying on a lot of younger guys to fill holes that you have, and you may have had weaknesses last year. You went out there, you replaced it. You tried to at least draft 2 young guys, and you have to have luck fall your way, just like that whole ball bouncing. The draft kind of fell to you, and you were able to pick up 2 young guys. At least, even if you hit 50% on that, that would be a really good turnout.
Yeah,
your linebackers was the weakness. I don't know how much you improved, but you went out there and you got people. So I just think that's what you do. You just try to see what you can fill in. You know what your weaknesses are. At least that's at least what Howie Roseman does, is at least go out there and try to fill in those gaps when he does see them. It's just I wish the Cowboys and the Joneses did that exact same philosophy.
Yeah, man. And we'll get to Dallas. Don't worry. I'm gonna.
Oh yeah, that'll be the last one.
I'm just over it. To be honest with you, which sucks. I hate feeling this way, but yeah, I mean, Eagles' offense is stacked. Sorry, I'm not. It's just a fact. It's stacked, but
it is.
It's not like they're stacked with a coordinator coming in. Everybody's ready to roll. Everybody knows the playbook. They're stacked with a big question mark. How they're going to adapt. And listen, I'm not trying to be mean. Jalen Hurts cannot run the traditional Kellen Moore offense. That it will not work. It will fail big time if Kellen came in here and tried to force feed his offense, which me and Phil know his offense way too well. It's a lot of.
Well, I mean, let's be real. The whole freaking NFL knew their offense way too well. I mean, they were sitting on corner curl routes, and like Detroit just destroyed it.
They call them two-way routes, and Dak loved the two-way route. But here's the problem: those two-way routes, right? The receiver and quarterback have to be on the same page. The receiver runs his route and basically breaks it off, or stutter goes and does a route off of that, up and over. But they have to be on the same page, and it's all depending on what the defense is doing. So it's like really great. It's an unbelievable play because it's not like it's set in stone. It's like the Y option that Jason Witten used to do. You remember? No, it wasn't Jason Witten wasn't the fastest guy. But again, he was reading the defense. And
I think that's going to just fall on Hurts. It's going to fall on Hurts because let's be real. That wide receiver core is smart enough to read those defenses and figure it out.
Exactly.
It's going to be all on Hurts.
But I don't think they're going to run that. I think they're going to run more of a read option.
Read options and adapt, which is smart. I think it's smart. Yeah.
Kellen's not a dumb guy. He knows it's stupid to go into an organization and force feed something. You got to look at the guy's talent and say, okay, this is what Jalen does well. What he does well is RPO. He's probably right up there with Lamar. I would say he's a better passer than Lamar, believe it or not. Even though Lamar's won an MVP, which I think he's done it with mirrors. Lamar also has a 2-4 playoff record. So if we're going to shit on Dak, we can shit on Lamar, but just because he had. So we're giving out. So we care about regular season awards now, or we don't. It's like Lamar is a good RPO. That's what I think that Kellen's going to do. I think they're going to get the tight ends involved big time. I think like the seam routes with the tight end. It'll be interesting. It definitely will. But they are stacked on offense. But again, it's comes with a huge question mark how Kellen's going to fit with Jalen, especially with the way the season ended last year. They did bring in Saquon. I would just say, as an Eagle fan, I would hope that they would pound the rock early to get some sort of
Rhythm.
rhythm. You know,
the thing about it is when Kellen Moore, when you look at Kellen, I mean, sorry, Loey, I'm not trying to not include you or anything, but when you look at Kellen, I mean, I think Kellen has an intelligent mind and he's great at getting plans for people. I think his only problem is that when to implement it sometimes, and it's like, okay, well, the defense tends to be kind of going to the right. Let's really sweep to the left, or just the timing of some stuff is really his, the question mark on him. I think he's really good at drawing up stuff for them. But again, I only really basing it off of one offense because, it definitely did not show during the Chargers' whole stint.
Yeah, Loyal, we can talk about your favorite team, the Eagles. And well, I asked Rob how we got started here was how is he feeling basically 3 weeks out from camp. We're getting to the Cowboys next, people. So
and the Eagles should feel good. I mean, they got a new toy. They got new Saquon Barkley. Can't say I root for them, but I mean they should feel good because
but there are
they went out, they did more than we did. I mean, they addressed some of their needs. We did too, but in the draft. But
what's up, Donnell?
They went out in the free agency and addressed some of their needs. Something I wish we would do. But they should be excited.
Game time. You actually, brought up something as far as how I felt during the 10-1 start to our season last year, and truthfully, we didn't look good at all. Even in winning, we didn't look good. It was great that we beat some pretty tough teams. Beating Buffalo, beating KC, beating Miami. Those are some damn good wins.
Yeah, all teams we lost to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and we scraped by those wins, but or those teams with the win. But those were good teams.
Yeah.
But losing to the Jets, that was just.
And that's funny, man, because when I did my preseason prediction, I had them losing to the Jets, and then some Eagle fan, I forget who it was.
Well, y'all never lost to the Jets.
That's
before.
What I'm
never.
saying. He goes,
yeah, never.
Game time, you're a dumbass. We've never lost to the Jets. Do your homework.
Yeah.
So then I thought about it. I'm like, all right. So I switched that game. They lost to the Jets. I'm like, whatever. I can't win for
and their defense is good. I'll give the Jets that. Their defense is good, but our turnovers killed us. Jalen's interception.
That game, you should have won that game.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I could look at both. I'm not gonna. We can easily look at both of the Washington games and said if Riverboat was anywhere near Riverboat, you'd probably lose one, maybe.
Yeah, we never matched up good against those as far as the Washington team.
That Washington because team, Washington gives us more fits than anybody else in the division. Yeah. Sorry, it's just
Scary
true.
Terry. Well, I think just kills us.
Why I don't know, but it's true.
I think it's a good transition in the sense. I think we talk about the East and the Commanders. What do you think? Going forward with Dan Quinn and all the changes that they made, how do you think their season is going to unfold?
I think the players are excited.
Yeah,
I really do because they've been through a lot. They've been through Dan Snyder, years of Dan Snyder, and I think the day they found out that Dan Snyder sold that team, they're probably jumping for joy. And now they're it's a new era for them. They got a new coach, they got a new coaching staff. They should feel pretty good. I don't know how they're gonna fare, but they should at least go into the offseason and training camp feeling excited.
I like what they did in the offseason with not only their draft. That quarterback I think in a couple of years can be good, but for them to go out and get a Bobby Wagner and having Luvu, I think they stacked their linebacker. Their start Luvu
that's the
great
one that
pickups,
impresses me.
Yeah, me too. And so for them to mix a little bit of draft plus some free agency, they did good. I think it'll make for an interesting NFC East, that's for sure.
Yeah, when I look at them, definitely something to get excited about if you're a Commander fan or whatever future name you're going to be. I would imagine the future stadiums involved, they just need to start changing a lot of that stuff, that culture.
Atlanta Walker.
But when you look at it, I think it's a good coach going forward. to go with. Your basketball-minded ownership. We'll see how that works in the NFL. I think that's what helps them kind of allow Dan Quinn to be able to buy what as Bill Parcells says, buy some of the groceries as he's about to start cooking.
Yeah, right.
But let's be real, man.
Yeah.
This is a freaking crock pot. It's going to be simmered and it's going to take a couple of years before this thing is looking good. They may do some damage this year. They could all of a sudden surprise the NFL. But as Brian has said many times, man, they got a really tough schedule into this year with a young team. Now, don't get me wrong, they are throwing bodies at this. And if you're going to ever pick any kind of talent from a practice squad, it's going to be Washington because of all those picks they had and all that roster. Look out to especially defensive tackle and everything when it comes to that Ridgeway, but when it comes to Washington,
man.
I think it's something for them to get excited about. But Washington fans are going to get excited about this year, and they're talk shit already this year.
Oh, they're already talking trash.
Yeah,
they are. Speaking of defensive tackles, how is Mark Holmes going to take OC over Jalen Carter earlier in that?
Well, listen, let's be nice. Yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, I'm going to talk to Philly 500. I haven't had a chance to reach out to him. We're going to do something at some point, but I would last on that show for probably 3 minutes before they probably cut me off because I couldn't sit there. I would be ripping into shit. It's okay. I mean, it's like frustrating to listen to now. Just like I don't know how we take the Tampa Bay linebacker over Eric Kendricks. You can hope that he's gonna finally click, but to have Philly go, you're gonna take what's his name that you guys got from Tampa? What's the linebacker?
Devin White.
To assume that Devin White's gonna come in, let's not forget that Eric Kendricks had 113 tackles last year.
Oh,
he's a tackling machine.
Solid.
So yeah, again, I would take both defensive tackles over anybody we got for the Eagles. But yeah. I know that was for, Devin White. Good job, Mark. Yeah, everybody be nice to Mark. Mark's at the ICU right now. So
hey, kudos to Mark, man, for him to show up and then for
everybody say a prayer for
double
Mark
team.
What happened?
Brother-in-law. It's not Mark, it's his brother-in-law.
Oh, prayers, Mark.
Yeah, man,
prayers.
It sucks. But yeah, getting back to my opinion on the Washington Commandos, I think Phil hit it. I think the biggest thing is Dan Snyder and that cloud is.
Oh yeah, it's gone.
It's gone. Yep. And don't get me wrong, I can't stand. What's his name? Harris? What's his first name? The owner, Harris. He owns the Sixers too. He's a weirdo. But that aside, Dan Snyder was just a rotten person. He was just a rotten person and even a horrible owner. So he's 40 years old. He had 117 tackles last year. What have you done for me lately?
Josh Harris.
Again.
Josh Harris.
All right, Drew. Again. You could sit there. You can't just put your opinion. Last year, Devin White his team didn't want him, bro. You have to hope Devin. I think the upside is huge with Devin, but you can't assume nothing. But anyway, getting back to the Commandos, I think that cloud being lifted off of the off of the organization is number one. Then you went out and got, in my opinion, I liked Jaden Daniels as the best. I know
he was
Caleb Williams. I know he's the most talented. I think he's the most talented, but I think Jaden Daniels is right there. But I think Jaden Daniels is mentally better. So I like Jaden Daniels. And I love Dan Quinn as far as bringing excitement. I don't know how far that's going to take you. But I just think there's going to be a lot of excitement around that team.
Well, he'll be able to bring a lot more excitement when he's on the sideline and his ass in the box. So
yeah, yeah.
And you got to think too, when it's all fun, it's fun. When times are tough, how are players going to respond to him? That's the big question. Is he going to put foots in asses, or is he just going to kind of joke around with them and hey, let's go have a beer afterward? How is he going to change the culture and the morale if they're losing?
Yeah.
That was the question he had in Dallas. It was Dallas, they had fun when they were the game against the Giants, everybody was getting sacks and balling out. But then when we got our butts handed to us, the players just didn't respond. They just had nothing. They had no answers. So,
I think Atlanta is good experience for him. I mean, he didn't do too much losing as a coordinator in Seattle. They were pretty good. They had some pretty good runs then, but you're right. I mean, let's see how he handled adversity.
Look at the Super Bowl.
Do a lot of losing.
Look at the Super Bowl. When they were winning, they were all showboating, pounding their chests in Atlanta. But then when New England came back, they didn't have nothing. Yeah. So,
well, that's the thing about it. Is, I mean, unfortunately, that's been the thing about his defense is once it starts to leak, the boat starts to go down quickly and it starts to fill up with water very quickly. But when it's there, man, it's floating. So it's kind of like a Titanic, man. It's really it can get powers. It can do some awesome turnovers. But as soon as it hits that iceberg, man, it's a different ship. So,
yeah. I mean, I do definitely hear you there. I just think there's a lot of excitement around that team.
I think you should. Actually, if you're a fan, you should get excited.
But that don't mean much in this day and age. As far as I think it could easily.
I wish them mid success because I don't want them to get another high draft picks selection.
Like
Glimmerman,
0 points
success, like 8-8.
I don't want no success.
8-8 success. But I want to just bring up their schedule. I know we'll get to everybody else's, but I just wanted to point out how hard. Then again, I thought Detroit's was easy, and when me and Rob looked at it last week, it wasn't as easy as I originally thought. I don't know why, but let's just briefly look at Washington because I think Washington can be a lot better. I think Giants, we could touch on them shortly. I think they have struggles on offense. They're getting better, but you lose a Saquon. I don't know. So, but I think Washington is going to be interesting. They start out in Tampa. Now, okay.
It's winnable.
It's winnable, but Tampa's got a lot of hype.
But and I think Tampa
they have a playoff win. You can't go in there and just say, as a Washington fan, I'm going to have Louis T on next Wednesday, by the way. So
Tampa's really good at openers. They're really good at openers.
Grill him.
And they have a good receiving core, and they also have a good.
I would be shocked if Washington goes into Tampa and wins that first game. Is it impossible? No, but I would say Tampa's. Week 2, Washington home against the Giants. Okay.
That's winnable.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Week 3, at the Bengals. That's tough.
That's a tough one, man.
If Joe Burrow's still healthy, they'll lose.
Yeah.
As far as
on Monday night.
Yeah, on Monday Night Football. Week 4, at Arizona. Arizona is no joke.
It'll be a tough one.
Okay. Anytime you go to
Arizona.
It's
winnable, though.
It's winnable, but I think Arizona is really talented. Remember, they were coming on at the end of the year.
Yeah. Which Arizona team shows up? Yeah.
Right. But I'm just saying, I think they'll be, so that's
and if Kyler playing, because they played better at the end of the year when Kyler came back.
Yes, exactly. We lost to Roy Hobbs. I mean, Josh Dobbs.
Josh Dobbs.
Yeah.
No eyebrows.
eyebrows, Mark. So we'll see. But I mean, and then you come home against Cleveland. Okay, that's a tough game. That defense is nasty.
Has Watson relapsed and gone and got massages again, and he's no longer playing,
Watson, I think, bounces back
playing
this year.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, you got to think too. They got Jameis Winston on their roster too. So
that's an automatic loss then.
Well, Jameis has to play.
He's good. He throws a lot of turnovers, but when
his practice, like when you watch those videos and stuff, he is just like
somehow.
He's hard to watch.
Cleveland defense though is tough, and going against the rookie quarterback, Cleveland will beat Washington there.
Wasn't Cleveland playing with like a 17th string quarterback or something like this year, and they were still winning? Joe Flacco, they brought him out of retirement,
and they didn't bring him back. He won him a playoff game, didn't he?
They're like, you go rest on the couch,
they lost
Flacco.
against Houston.
So
they got destroyed against Houston.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just was seeing if Eastside was in the house. All right. So home against Cleveland. We'll see about that. I think that's winnable, but Cleveland's defense is unbelievable.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Washington, a rookie quarterback. Okay, that would be a great win. Okay, at Baltimore, week 6.
Man,
That's
no.
another loss.
Yeah.
Tough loss there.
Yeah.
So just okay, Baltimore, week 6. That's one of the hardest places to play. Good luck. Week 7. All right, there you go. Home against Carolina. All right,
That's a winnable.
That's
Definitely
a win.
winnable.
I think that's the one game on the schedule. Well, that and the Giants. But anytime you go with divisional, it's a crapshoot. But I would say that's the first. Okay, that's a win. Now watch, they'll lose that one. But you would think that Washington would beat Carolina at home week 7. You would think. Week 8, the Bears. Okay, we're getting a little momentum.
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
And then you go to week 9 at the Giants.
But what do you think with Bears? I mean, is that winnable?
Yeah.
Yeah, very
You got a
winnable.
rookie. I mean, again,
a guy that thinks he's the shit, but he's gonna get a dose of reality.
I think that's the game when the game's over and go.
Chicago
picked
the right move.
Yes. Did Chicago? Make
you
the
can
right
already
move?
smell it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you not, man, Rob? You're supposed to say spoiler before you say that shit.
Sorry, my man.
Okay, and then at the Giants. Oh wait, so they don't have a bye. They have a late bye.
No, they have a late bye. Yeah.
So and then
These guys are gonna be all. These guys are all gonna be tired by the time their bye comes. They're all young and stuff.
Wow, where the hell is their bye? Week 14. Holy shit. But anyway, week 10, home against the Steelers. At least you're playing them at home. We'll see. I think the Steelers are going to be better, but who knows? At the Birds, right? That's an L, right? You would think.
No, not
home
in
against
Philly,
Dallas, 1 o'clock.
Another loss.
You would think, but I don't know. At that point, what the hell's going on with the Cowboys?
What Dallas is going on. Yeah, exactly.
I think Dallas splits with them. I think that.
Yeah, I think so too. Weirdly enough,
Dallas
man, I think somehow Jaden Daniels somehow starts to get the number.
I'm not hating people, but we're getting to Dallas, and you'll know why.
Divisional games, so for sure.
Yeah.
And then home against Tennessee. Okay, that's another. I mean, it's not easy, but they don't have Derrick Henry. It's a totally different team.
They don't have
I think
anything,
Tennessee's
man.
going to stink.
They barely have a logo now.
Yeah.
They lost their coach and everything.
Yeah.
Look how they finish up at the Saints in December in the Dome. That's a tough
Saints
one.
is hard to play in. Yeah, it's hard to win in New Orleans.
Home against the Eagles, week 16. That's a tough one. Week 17.
Atlanta, the young
home
Atlanta
against
team
Atlanta.
is
I
kind of
like
with
Atlanta this
I
year.
think Atlanta's gonna do
I think Matt
good
Ryan
things.
could,
Not Matt Ryan.
No, Matt Ryan's not in there. What's his name?
Help me out. Oh, Kirk Cousins.
Cousins.
And then if it's not Kirk
I was
Cousins,
like, might as well
it's a
be.
rookie. And then at Dallas, hey, listen, here's a weird thing.
schedule.
I think that the Commanders could possibly sweep us. And I only say that is because
it won't matter because at the
we
end,
rest
won't
of
matter
players
at
in
that
week
point.
18.
Either one of two things. Hopefully it matters because I like it when it matters. But, if Eagles
I
are
hope
way
it
out
doesn't
ahead
matter.
and we're
I hope it doesn't matter.
well, I hope it matters because that way it means we have a shot.
No, I hope it doesn't matter,
hope you're
meaning
right,
that we're
Brad.
resting
Brad
our
says we'll
guys
be
because we have a
5-1.
first week bye or something, like
So I
you're
just
gonna pull
wanted
some
just to
scenario out of your butt.
I just wanted to quickly just look at their schedule. It's not as daunting, but it's not easy. I think the beginning, I think that middle part of their schedule is rough. So
I think they'll be drafted into the top 10 again next year.
yeah. So if that's the case, that's
What
why
about
I
those-
said I thought the Giants may finish ahead of them.
Yeah, I would say now you got to go into that. The hard knocks guys with the Giants. What do you think? Well, going into it, of course, Barkley moves over
I'm
into
going
the
to show you their
division.
schedule, and we could to touch on Drew.
I mean,
There
they
he is.
they got
Uh-oh.
some. You
done
pointed
it
out in
now,
the trailer.
Brad. You've done it now.
You trade, yeah.
We're fucked. No, thanks, Drew.
Yeah, you got a young wide receiver. Again, I'm not a big Daniel Jones fan. I'm not big on him.
I
I mean,
hear ya.
I don't think he's terrible, but he's not 40 million plus.
I hear you. Let's see here. Let's just look at their regular season. Okay.
You're dumping everything to put it on him. I don't know. You need at least a backup plan in that quarterback
what they
position.
said was it's a 2-year plan. They were giving him 2
plan.
years with.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So that's why they signed him to that deal, and they're giving him 2 years. But anyway, let's get.
Well, that's what I was saying. If you didn't get Dak and you had Lance, I mean, yeah, so that's the same thing. But let's go Giants.
All right. Week 1, and there he is. Week 1 at the home against the Vikings, right?
Loss.
So you got week
Young
1.
Young quarterback.
Yeah, that's a win. I'm sorry. I think the Vikings are gonna go JJ
I think
McCarthy.
but that
right?
defense is still. I mean, that defense.
I don't
is
know
still,
if it is, Rob.
You know,
How
is
is the
him and
Vikings?
JJ balling. You know, that's a
Is
question.
it going to be McCarthy or Darnold starting?
It might be Sam Darnold.
I'll probably think it'll be Darnold.
I think so too.
I don't think they're just gonna throw McCarthy out there right away.
But I mean, that's a decent home game, though. I think.
Yeah,
Giants
I think
at home
Minnesota's
against
going
the
to win.
Vikings. Giants defense. Let's just analyze the Giants
I'm
defense.
with Rob.
for a
I
minute.
think Minnesota on that
You
one.
got Dexter Lawrence. You got Brian Burns. You got
Thibodeau.
a Kayvon Thibodeau. You got you went
Who's
out and
defending
got
on the outside, man? If you can just
I
get the
don't
ball out
know,
quick,
man.
you know.
I know, but I think their defense is pretty damn good. But all right.
Well, they
Oh, they're
lost
getting
their
better.
safety.
They're getting
Their
better,
safety
Yeah, well,
went
they
to
lost
Green
one,
Bay.
and then they
Mhm.
got one.
Yep.
So yeah,
That's true. That's true.
We'll see. At the Commandos.
A good one.
So okay. So I mean, that's possible 2-0 there, or okay, 1-1. If they're 0-2, then That's
it's
pretty
been a
bad.
hell of a year so far.
okay, at Cleveland, that's an L.
Yeah,
Home against Dallas, they never beat Dallas,
no.
but they,
Thanks for that one.
yeah,
Brian.
except for that one, right? At Seattle, that's a tough one. Playing in Seattle is not
again,
easy.
I'm
man.
starting to see a lot. There seems to be a little. It could be 0-5 if you don't.
It could be.
Watch yourself.
Yeah. Home against Cincy, that's a tough one.
That's a loss.
Again, like, you're
Home
battling
against the
Carolina
Birds.
now
Oh,
for
shit.
that first.
Giants could be.
Man, this is looking bad.
It's looking pretty bad for them.
This is.
Yeah.
At Pittsburgh, not home against Pittsburgh. They got to go to Pittsburgh. Woo.
Man, you're hoping that maybe Fields is playing by this time because Russ is doing some kind of spiritual journey.
Oh,
I don't know, man. Like,
spiritual journeys. They're screwed if they're calling me up to see what the Mystic can do.
I could see Watt having a big game in that one.
Yeah. Washington Commanders. Okay. Look, we're getting home. Okay, the Commanders.
that could be the first win of the season.
At Carolina.
They'll win
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
They should win that
They
one.
win that one.
Bye. They got the strong bye. 11's perfect. Like I would
Yeah,
say
they're gonna
anywhere
need
from
it. They're
9
gonna
to
lick their
11.
wounds after 11.
They might have a new coach by then.
Yeah.
Dable might be
True.
gone.
Implementing a new system in week 11.
Right.
Week 12, home against Tampa after the bye. So that's a good one.
And people start planning their trips now. They get Expedia,
Right.
get
So
better
they're
discounts.
home, and then they
Yep.
get to come to AT&T for Thanksgiving.
It's not
I
looking
think
good for the Giants, man.
I think Dallas just annihilates them. But again, who knows?
Agreed.
Home against New Orleans, they don't have to go to the Dome. Week 14, home
Whoa.
against the Ravens. See, they got a little lucky with the home and away shit.
Wow.
It won't matter with the Ravens.
It won't matter. That's
It won't matter
exactly.
with the Ravens, yeah.
At Atlanta, I think that's an
Okay.
L.
That's an L.
Home against the Colts, and then at the Birds. So, oof, that's a toughie.
Man, if they get past 5 wins, I'd be very amazed.
See,
Like,
I'd say it's weird. I looked at it like
it's all about injuries,
initially,
all that stuff. But
and then now all of a sudden it's like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
You
Jules,
guys
what's
hear-
up, man? What's
up,
going
Drew?
on? Welcome.
What's up? What's happening, everybody? Brad, my friend, how are you, sir?
How is
In the audience, what's
the
going on?
how are the ribs coming along?
Oh man, I'm sweating right now, bro. Got ribs, links. Not doing a whole bunch. I got a small family, so
Yeah.
son's coming over. So we just I'm out here sweating now. So tomorrow we can just kind of relax, everybody kick back and just chill out, have a easy breezy day.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I don't know. I'm not doing much tomorrow. I only get one day off squeezed in, so I'll be outside grilling something, but I don't know. I might do some maybe some barbecue chicken, do some burgers and dogs. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we're finally getting to the Cowboys. Drew missed the Eagles segment, so
wait. Let me just say this real
Yeah.
quick for Washington. I think you guys are sleeping on Washington. I think they could be the Texans of this year, potentially.
possibly.
And they could potentially win 9-10 games. I
The
can
thing
see
about
that.
it
I
is the
wouldn't be
Texans
surprised.
had a defense going into a lot of that stuff. I mean, at least you got a defensive-minded coach. I think maybe that might improve that.
I see what you're
Mhm.
saying. I just look at the rookie quarterback, but we saw.
Well, no, I think the
Stroud.
rookie quarterback's
I
not
know.
going to. I think to be the less of their concerns. You know.
I agree with you.
But
And, I
Washington
mean,
never had a good quarterback when they won the Super Bowl. So
Well,
quarterback.
and the thing about the Texans too, I mean, they had some wide receivers that stepped up that came out of nowhere. That ended up
Noah
playing.
Brown.
They played a lot bigger than I thought they were going to play. I mean, so I think that kind of helped out their rookie quarterback. So, hey, Drew, I see where you're coming from, my man. I mean, we can be sleeping on him for sure. It's kind of the roll of the dice. Are you going to get the quarterback that was in Houston, or are you going to get the quarterback that started in Carolina?
and what did you guys have the Eagles, by the way?
I didn't.
We haven't done them.
Like we didn't do like wins and L's.
Okay.
We were just touching. We haven't gotten that far. I want to kind of see a little
no
bit.
worries.
I want to see more leaves fall. But yeah, no. I'm probably gonna predict the Eagles. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna predict them to win the division, but I don't know about wins and losses yet. We'll get there. I was just kind of going over everything. The question was, okay, we're 3 weeks out. All the offseason, the draft, as it's getting closer, all the BS is starting to rise to the top. How are you feeling now about your team? Compared to what like right after the draft. All the BS with Nick Sirianni and Jalen not having his back. And as far as Cowboys fans, not signing anybody, having a cloud over the whole organization because of shit that they're doing. You're hearing from inside of the Cowboys building that nobody feels safe. It's not a way to work because everybody's on the final year of their deal. Starting with Phil, how the hell can we possibly be happy about what's going on with the Cowboys, Phil?
I'm not happy with them, man. I haven't been happy with them for a while. I think I was up to here with the Jason Garrett thing. I was ready.
10 years of Garrett.
It was like every week
4 or 5 tops.
4 or 5 years. I was just like, come on, man, this guy's got to be out of here. And it just keeps
8-8,
going and
Coach
keeps
Clark.
going and keeps going. And it's like, it was just a nightmare. So I by that point I was done. When he wouldn't put Jimmy into the Ring of Honor, I think I was, I felt believing more. And here I am, all this merchandise behind me, and yet I still suffer. But I think it's just, unless you start to listen to other people that, every other team in the NFL has this advantage, and it's called, being scared to lose your freaking job, and these guys are not scared to lose their jobs. So they can take whatever.
Why? Because they own the team?
Yeah, and it's just most teams though. Why do they trade off all that capital? Because they're not going to probably be here in 2 or 3 years if they don't do something right now, and so they don't have that. They're worried about 2 or 3 years more than they are worried about this year. And until you change that, and at least you would think, yes, Jimmy Johnson coming in and hopefully being maybe something in their ear, like something. Yes, he hasn't been successful in a salary cap year, so he really, how much does he really know about that? But I would say the biggest advantage you're going to have if you're going to change anything is you need to take a guy like Will McClay, make him into a true GM. You're the owner, you can give him the GM role and let him also be in charge of contracts and stuff like that. It's, and you're not insulting people when they come into the door. It's ridiculous when it comes to Stephen Jones and some of this contract negotiation, because you shouldn't be insulting people. It's like when you're buying a house and you just bid way too low. People just kind of they don't want to deal with you.
Loyal, what do you think of this shit show? I know I'm not trying to bring you down, but listen, we're 3 weeks away. This team never wants to make us feel like excited about anything.
I think Jerry Jones lost control of the team a long time ago. I mean, his son's taking over, Cowboys taking over, and he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, every time there's a potential person out there, he shuts it down real fast. he's just not good. I mean, all we can do is hope that our team can, and our coaches can do enough. But I mean, as long as he's in the way, it's hard for us to get any type of talent. I mean, just is.
All right, Rob, what do you think, bro? I mean, outside in, I'm gonna shit on the team pretty good, but I'll let you go first.
I think to Leo's point, activity is big. That's what I feel blessed of being an Eagles fan. I know we only have one ring, but Howie isn't afraid to try. He'll go out there and he'll hit on some of these free agents, and he'll miss on some. And we really get a lot of flack when we miss, kind of like last year, with Leonard and Byard. I think those are two whiffs, but at the same time, but he addresses needs in real time, and I love the activity. And it's just, you have the money to resign these players. Why wait and make it more expensive on you? Like, I just don't get that. I mean, for the price to continue to go up and up on these players when you have the cap space to do it, and it's a benefit to do it earlier, not only to save money, but to free up money to go out and get a Derrick Henry, or go out and get a linebacker or a defensive tackle.
Rob,
so I could see where the frustration comes from. On the outside looking in, I mean, I feel it's good for us. Because you draft well, but I don't think you drafted well last year. But on a regular, you draft well. And you rely on those a little bit too much. Sometimes you just need that talent, and you're not going to find it. You're going to find those gems, here and there as far as the UFL. But you need to go out and get these top end first 2 weeks of free agency, those players to make a difference, to give you that push to get to the NFC Championship or to the Super Bowl. So I could see, as a Cowboy fan, it'd be frustrating as hell to have the kind of lead or the ownership that you guys have.
All right, I'll go last. Go ahead, Drew. What do you got to say about the Cowboys? I'm curious.
As an objective, fan.
I think we're all objective in this room right now.
So
in this room.
Well, yeah, you know what? That's fair. That's fair. But being objective from the outside looking in, I see that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones runs the Cowboys like a mom and pop shop. Like a little small, corner, lemonade stand, just like running it like he's back in the 90s, and I think that the Dallas Cowboys still have that name, but I don't think the appeal is there anymore. I don't think it's there anymore like it used to be, from players. And I think that the media, along with Jerry Jones, drives, the fans, like, get you guys in the fluster and we still them boys and America's team. I'm not being funny at all, but I think they work on that narrative to keep you guys involved and keep you guys, going to the point where it's like you guys get so frustrated where, as Eagles fans, we're looking back and, we're looking at our owner who, he can get his hands in the mix a little bit. But at the end of the day, he opens up his checkbook.
No, he stays out of it for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. And
right
he lets
now,
Howie Roseman do Howie Roseman, right?
Seems like he's getting, since the Super Bowl, I just want to interject this. Since the Super Bowl, there's an undercurrent of analytics that's going on. There's some stuff going on that as an Eagle fan, I would hope that would stop. The fact that Doug didn't want to play. Yeah, he didn't want to play that kind of game. It's starting to come out now. That's slowly coming out. Doug, we need to do more analytics, and he maybe wasn't a big Hurts guy. I mean, I don't know exactly, but you heard all the shitstorm when it went bad last year. Right. So I think that the analytics needs to back off a little bit. But again, they're putting a hell of a team out there. So
this is what impresses me about the Eagles. Like, I'm from Philly, so I know the media is Negadelphnic, right? The media is always going to be negative. You're always going to have some kind of.
You were 10-1, and it wasn't all sunshine and roses last year.
Exactly. I mean, we ended the season with 11 wins, right? But here's the thing that impressed me: when the season was over, one of the media guys asked Fletcher Cox a question about the coach. And he told him, "Man, you're corny. Get out of here. Get away from me. Get out of here." Yep. Yeah, we know
at the locker room.
We have our coach's back. just recently, all the smoke was coming up about Jalen Hurts, but look what happened. He got the seal of approval from Lane Johnson. He got the seal of approval from Brandon Graham, right? That's all that I need to hear.
Hey, Drew.
Because those are two pillars within the locker room. Those are two leaders within the franchise. So
Drew, give me some negatives about your how you ended and what you don't like about your team going forward.
What for last year?
No, like in the sense of what you may have had a weakness going into this year. Give me something negative into your team. Like what don't you like about your team going right now?
That's easy. What I did not like was the fact that our coach did lose control of the team in the downward spiral.
Because I know a lot of people wanted him gone.
Yeah, that was it. And you know what? I was one of those that
I wanted McCarthy
really
gone, but it was probably wrong and saying.
Yeah, that was one of those that I questioned, but I was wrong because I mean that's my opinion, just simple equal Drew. But the players had what you guys call Dracula. They had his back. So
do you you obviously don't have an offseason to go off of in the sense of training camp yet, but do you think he's got back that locker room in the sense of doing some of that changes?
I think that's yet to be.
I think he does. I think he does. And I think with him, stepping back, because this is not the first time that this happened with him. When we had Shane Steichen came in and, he was kind of goofing around and he gave the keys to Shane Steichen and we went to the Super Bowl, right? So I think it's a similar scenario that we're seeing with our coach.
I can see the idea of what you're saying. Yeah, we'll see.
But let me just say, like, some negative things. Like, again, objectively speaking, one of the things that I didn't like was that we let Hassan Reddick go. I didn't want Hassan Reddick to go.
That's a
huge loss.
I like it.
To me,
I like it.
To me, Hassan Reddick was more productive than. He was more productive than Michael Parsons.
Oh, I love the move. Yeah, last year definitely.
I love the move because the one guy who broke our, just every game he was it's just a handful.
I don't mind him. I don't mind him being gone only because of the shit he's pulling in New York now.
Well,
I don't think he would have done that. I don't think he would have done that in Philly.
Well, I think he would have because I think that's how he moved him. I think why
if
we
he's
don't have
game
him now.
one, then it don't matter.
I agree.
Well,
I think
true.
Shenanigans right now.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I think how we saw the writing on the wall, and I think we offered him a contract, and we wanted him to stay around 18. He wanted beyond 20, and we're like, you're an aging, you're productive, but you're 30. I think they're reluctant to pay him big, like we did Bradbury after an All-Pro season, and then Bradbury fell off. Now we're stuck with 17 million. So I think they're reluctant to pay him the big money. And it like you said, if he's there in game one, cool. But if he's not, then we made the right move.
I love
I agree.
Yeah.
I love what he says. Is Drew high? He's chilling. Maybe.
I don't know, man. I may have talked to Leo, man. Leo may have, sent me a little care package. You never know.
Oh, there you go.
There
you go.
Larry,
Larry,
what's up, Larry?
What's going on, Game Time? How you doing, fellas? How y'all doing?
We're just sitting here. There's not a lot to talk about. That's why I love this channel Zoom, because we could just kind of shoot the breeze. We were just kind of, I'll get you caught up to speed, and I'll let you go next. We're on the Cowboys, so you came in at the good time. We were just saying, we're 3 weeks out, okay, with everything that's happened now as Cowboy fans. Nothing has happened. So you could use that as well. How do you feel about our team? You're 3 weeks out from your first practice, literally. There will be shorts and helmets pretty much on Wednesday. But, how are you feeling about the team? Pick my spirits up because I ain't feeling too good.
And I'll be honest, Game Time, as much as I want to say something positive, it's hard to even give a positive right now.
Larry,
it is.
If we're thinking that way, what the hell are the players thinking? Yeah, that's my fear. I don't know, Phil. Am I wrong? That's kind of
no, you're not. You're not wrong.
No. Come on, Brian. Really? Okay, let's be real. People are getting opportunities that didn't get opportunities. That's why they're excited about this upcoming year, because now they get opportunity. Oh, so-and-so was in my way. Oh, Tyron Smith, whatever. It's just people, this unfortunately is. We got a young guy, a crew, and there's just going to be a lot of young guys that are going to get opportunities. And so I think the team is excited. We looking in, wish we had done more in the offseason. Obviously, it's just, I can't say I'm not excited about our young guys
at this point. It's the fact that they haven't even attempted. I know, and I understand.
Oh, with the contracts talk?
Well, yeah. I mean, they haven't done nothing.
That's the main
running game or stopping the run.
I mean,
you have no defensive tackle yet, or
what are we doing? Why bring fucking Zimmer in?
I'm not worried about the running back. I like. If you're not going to get the running back, at least you got the offensive lineman to open stuff up.
You might, but you're still starting a rookie.
You know what it is, Phil? I feel like this is what I feel. I feel like we were talented enough that if you added a couple stud pieces, you might put you over the top or give you a better chance in the playoffs, right? Now it's like you didn't. So now we need to catch lightning in a bottle again, which I'm not saying we can't, but odds are it ain't going to happen. So we're going to be a good team, and we're going to waste the last year of DeMarcus Lawrence, most likely. We're going to waste, Zeke ain't what he was, but you brought him back for a reason. You're going to waste that. You're going to waste, the guys aren't, NFL, you're not on a roster for very long. You're here and gone, and we're just wasting careers. Yeah, I feel like
or young contracts.
1 foot in the pool and 1 foot out. Either get in or get out. Why are we playing around? Because me and Phil are fine. If we're gonna rebuild, we love draft. We love top 5 picks. We love playing in that water too. It's once the season's over, and I'm sure everybody's on the same page. I'm sure the Eagle fans feel the same way. If you don't win the Super Bowl, you look forward to the draft and having a high pick. I hate the fact that we pick 27, we pick 26, we pick 24.
By the end of the season, when the season's over, it doesn't matter anymore. Yeah,
because what the hell does that mean? That means you won a lot of games and choked again in the playoffs, or didn't get to a championship game. Right. So it's like, as a Cowboy fan, it's like, I don't mind having a down season like we did a few years ago when we had that great draft, like the Eagles did when I think Carson Wentz got hurt, and you got a good draft pick, and then boom, it's the NFL that next year. I don't mind, but what we're doing is like we have a lot of talent, and then we're not doing nothing. We're just kind of.
Well, here's the thing, man. What if they are allowing?
What's up, Felix?
Are they saying this stuff, or do you hear them saying,
Me too,
hey, I want to sign Dak. I want to do this. He's our main, thing, and we were close. Anything of that stuff, but if they don't sign him, and they do sign Lamb, that to me seems like the more realistic thing than if you're not going to at least get both of them. It's just, if you're going to do that, I mean, next year again, that's a lot of money that becomes available.
My thing is this: what are they doing? If you're gonna mess around,
you want them to
just fucking trade everybody.
You want them to announce it? Hey, man, next year's the year.
Them all.
Just trade them all.
Just trade them all. If
it's a lot of dead money, man.
Well, I'm saying like CD or Micah.
Well, I'm okay. Yeah.
Win,
if you're not going to do it, get something out of it. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not trying to be negative, but
I want to keep him.
Just remember, people, we're 3 weeks away. Once we're there, it'll be different. But as I sit right now, like the Eagle fans, all the Eagle fans could be excited about their team because their GM has put that in their minds that they could be great. They went out and unloaded on offense.
All those problems that we had, they're gone. I got new guys in here, so at least he gives them something.
Accountability. Accountability. That accountability is there in Philly where we made activity.
I think Eagle fans and Rob I think everybody would be lying to not have some reservations, especially with the defense. But you have a lot to look forward to. As we sit here, Eagles have everything to look forward to because they went out and got a dynamic player. They re-signed. Who the hell would have thought that they would have signed Devontae Smith, who took less of a deal than he probably could have got on the open market, and they brought back A.J. Brown and extended him out. It's just pretty impressive what they did. Yeah, I know they lost Kelsey, and we'll see how that works. But shit, if you're going to surround yourself with that much talent, I don't think that's going to mean too much.
But Brian, look at it. Look at what Howie's done too. If you look at the defense, I'm not expecting a whole lot right now. My expectations aren't really high. But if you look at the youth that he's infused within that defense, he's low key rebuilt that defense. I mean, if you think about it, you look at the corners, You look at the interior. Linebackers are still a question mark. Defensive ends are still a question mark. But if you look at what he's done, he's low key put youth and rebuilt that defense. And if he hits, let's say if he hits on half of the people that he said, man, it's going to be we're going to be set for a long time. Offensive line, because real quick, I look at things. There are four aspects of the team that I look at that are really a core for me: offensive line, defensive line, coach, and the quarterback. So if you look at we have the best offensive line possibly in football next to Detroit. Defensive line, we're still working on it. We have some core pieces. Coach and quarterback, we know what they've done. We've been to an NFC Championship and a Super Bowl. So you look at those aspects, we're sitting in a really, really good place because of our owner and our GM.
Well said, Drew. Well said.
Yeah, and I know this is a Dallas station, but like I said, I really try and be fair, especially with the amount of Eagles subscribers I have. I'm not trying to upset my Cowboy people, but we're 3 weeks out. We're just looking at where we, is sit here. Now, we could get into camp. They could sign CD. They could sign Dak or whatever. They could go out and get a defensive lineman via trade before the season, and all of a sudden, game one, we're all excited. Now it's game on. You know what I mean? I'm not throwing in a towel. It would be nice to go back to the days, Loyal, where we're the team that's doing shit off the field and just getting some excitement. A lot of times it didn't mean much. It didn't amount to much, but it made me feel better, right?
And here's the thing that makes me mad about these guys holding out is because my question is, what kind of shape is CD Lamb going to be at when they do finally get a deal done? So
you would think he's going to be ready to go.
They need to hurry up and get this done. Well, what happened to Des Bryant? Des Bryant was demanding that money, and he got hurt week 2, broke his foot, was done. So what kind of shape is CD Lamb going to be in? And Micah Parsons, if he holds out, what kind of shape is he going to be in? I mean, they need to stop messing around and just get stuff done. That's why
Lawyer, right? And Lawyer, I kind of wanted to say something about that, like what you said. What type of shape will CD be in? It's like you watch these guys and you see them doing their own personal trainings and everything, and they're not with a team, And then at first that was a big uproar. Everybody's just bashing them for doing their own personal things, but then at the same time, you have to think about it. Okay, they're not wasting their time. They're doing something with that time, preparing themselves. But at the same time, like now, like you say, I agree with you. What kind of shape will he be in when the actual training comes in and the holdout? I'm looking at it this way. Do I feel they will be signed? I can't say that. But do I feel Jared might come up with a surprise signing just last minute? We don't know. We don't know. And that's what I'm looking at now. To me, do I want them signed? Yes. I would love to see CD signed, Dak signed, even Micah Parsons. But if nothing gets done, and I will say by training camp at least, then I don't know what to say from there.
Mike is not going to get signed. But listen, what would you say, Larry, and everybody? I know Eagles would be surprised, but I don't know why I think this, but I had thought about this, and I'm like, it's possible. There's a chance that, and I know Drew would be ecstatic if they re-signed Dak, right, and then they re-signed CD, and then this is all before the season, and then they extend McCarthy and go, you know what, we're going to do it all, and just build up that excitement right before the season starts, extend McCarthy, which they could do, right? And now all of a sudden, you extend Zimmer. Now you have your coaching staff in there for however many years. You got CD and Dak locked up. Would that make you feel any better, Larry, going into the season? That everybody's locked up, or do you like being everybody fighting for their life? I'm just curious.
I don't think
for me, I
you know what I mean? That's what they're doing. They're making you earn every dime
Exactly. It's like they're basically telling them, hey, you're gonna fight for this money that you're gonna get.
Dax had to
And
do
it's-
that
And you
every
shouldn't have to.
contract. That's
And you
so
And
shouldn't
shouldn't
have
have
to.
to.
I mean,
And shouldn't have to.
they're amazing players. They're a top 5 player in their position. You have the cap space. They're young.
You're going to gain so much room by re-signing CD. Dak is solid.
Yeah.
I don't think Dak gets done because I think if he does, I think they do it down the line and they're going to eat the 55.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think it makes
the most reasonable
sense
one is
not to bring
CD.
it in.
Yeah, CD, and you can hold off on Micah.
That's an
There's another
easy
year.
one.
No, Micah can pretty much wait. Yeah, I think that's what $5 million.
Man, pay him.
But what kind of precedent does that? What kind of message does that send? Not only to the team, but to free agents in the future.
Right, exactly.
Exactly. No one will want to go to Dallas.
Well, that's the thing. They don't care about now. You got players leaving. Right. They have the star, Drew. And I toured the star. It's beautiful. But at the end of the day, they care about what's in their pocketbook, in their wallet, in their bank account. If you're not going to take care of me, I'll go play for whoever.
Right.
And how
game time.
How he's signing his guys. I mean, what does that say not only to the team, but also to future free agents?
Potential free agents. I want to go to Philly. They'll take care of me. You know,
because Micah said, like, oh, they're not going to be able to sign AJ. You signed.
Well, look at Devontae. He left an easy $7 million on the table a year.
That's what
just
I mean.
to stay in Philly.
He took a big time reduced.
He took a big hit to stay put. So I mean, that tells you what kind of organization there is in Philly. They take care of their players. And Dallas, like Philly 500 said today on Silva's show, Tyler Smith, what is he going to be holding out next year or two when he's up for a contract?
Well, that's the thing. We got Tyler Smith.
You know?
I mean,
the bigger point is that why do you have to fight for your money in Dallas? When
that's why Dan Quinn left. Dan Quinn left because he said
what was the
team
first
wasn't
thing
aggressive,
he said,
aggressive enough.
His first thing he said when he went to Washington was, and he said it in a rather he didn't care way in his first press conference with the Commanders. He's like, I talked to ownership and it was really nice. They really said that they wanted to win right now, that they wanted to win now. They were going all in to win. And if you listen, I don't think a lot of their moves were great. I think they spent some money foolishly, but I think me and Rob were talking about they brought in Frankie Louvu. You got Wagner coming in, Bobby Wagner for $5 million. That tells you that he wanted Wagner in Dallas last year. Do you think Wagner could have helped in the playoff game when we couldn't stop the effing run? Of course he would have. Stuff like that. He's and it just makes you wonder why Dallas is doing what they're doing.
I think players just don't trust Stephen Jones. They just don't.
I agree.
They just don't trust him.
Yeah.
I mean,
I definitely agree with that.
He looks crooked. He is crooked. I mean, if you talk
about,
when they got rid of Des Bryant, his whole demeanor changed. He was like, yeah, I got rid of him. I mean, people just don't want to. They look at that. That's the type of supervisor you don't want to have.
Well, that's because you'll never get fired. At the end of the day,
he doesn't really show value. He only shows that he's all about fattening his pockets, trying to build his ego up, and it's garbage. He hasn't done nothing. He's probably the worst GM wannabe in the NFL, in my opinion. I hate to say that, dog my team, but Stephen Jones is the worst GM in the history of football to me. He don't know nothing, man. He's horrible.
Lord, you couldn't have said it any better. You couldn't.
He's horrible. If he's standing right here looking me in the face,
and
I would call him an idiot. He's just living off his dad's name. He got a bunch of money, and it went to his head, and he said, "Well, this is going to be my team." But he's an idiot. He don't know nothing.
Job
security. He don't know nothing, and that's crazy.
I did have a question for you guys, and Brad, hold on to your socks. Okay, I'm not being a hater, but I'm saying future. If you can look into the future, or if you were the GM, right, would you sign your core three, right?
Hell
which
yeah.
makes the most sense, right?
Yes.
Or would you sign Micah? Because this is what I would do. I would sign Micah today.
I would trade Micah.
I would sign CD today.
If Michael was
And
unhappy, I would go get 3 first-round picks and build off of that. That's
okay, see me. now, okay, that's an option too. Or
because I don't want a disgruntled employee in my place.
I wouldn't sign him now because we can't afford it now.
Or would you like let Dak walk, because you can get, let's say let's say if you could get 2 potential All-Pro signings or free agents, maybe even 3, right? Let's say if you can get 2 solid defensive tackles. Let's say if you can get another wide receiver, but you have, I'm just throwing it out there, Russell Wilson, or you have Trey Lance, right? And you have solid middle play. You got Micah. You get, you draft some decent, linebackers. Bring that defense up a little bit because Zimmer is a good coach, and you have more offensive weapons with a okay quarterback. Because, and I'm not throwing shade, a quarterback that can't be no worse than where Dak has been in the playoffs, right? Would you be opposed to that as opposed to just doing the same thing that you've done for the last 8 years or so?
Well, Dak wasn't really the problem in the playoffs. Yeah, he made some mistakes, but that was a team loss. You can't put that all on Dak. I mean, it was a team. We lost as a team.
What about the previous 2, though? I'd put some on him. That San Francisco game when you hold them to 19.
There's some controversial calls, like the first time we played the 49ers, a referee got in the way and really kind of blew it for us. We couldn't get a playoff. I'm not saying it would have changed the game, but there was some things. Yeah, we got off to a slow start.
I would say
that was management on McCarthy, though, on that game, too.
I would say the one game that Dak should have won was the one in San Fran. But it wouldn't have really mattered. That was the game. And the one at home, it really wasn't Dak. That was the one where he was driving and they just ran out of time and he tried to spike the ball. It was a bad idea to run that play. But that was just a lot of penalties on our defense, if you guys remember, and it allowed the Niners just to keep extending their drive, and then they finally fucking killed us. But that I wouldn't, I would say the Niner game in San Fran when the defense held them to 19 points, that was the one that was like, wow, okay, that was Dak.
Yeah, scoring 9 points is unacceptable.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That every once in a while you need your quarterback to win you a game when your defense does that. You know what I mean? And obviously, I agree. Dak's game last year was not great, but again, I'll be honest, the whole team was horrible. So
and the coaches just didn't do anything to motivate them.
Dak. He takes the L, but so does everybody else.
They didn't do anything to motivate them at all. They just looked depleted. They just were like
the look on the sideline from everybody, just like you say, Lawyer.
You see Jimmy Johnson at halftime going off. I wish he was in our locker room. He would have gone.
He looked like he was going to have a heart attack in that halftime.
Jimmy Johnson.
He was ripping
and you reminded me of something. Yeah. I want to bring this up before we're getting a little long here, but I want to bring this up. If I'm Dak Prescott, wouldn't you want to unload right now? Like in the press. I mean, what do you got to lose, Dak? You're going to get paid somewhere, bro. You are. Let's face it. Whether you like Dak or not, he's hit the lottery. So he should come out and say, I don't know, like the first day of training camp and say, you know what? I'm not coming out there until I got a deal, till CD's got a deal, till we do something as a team. What are they going to do at that point? We're going to play Trey Lance? Okay, Trey's looked like crap from what I heard from all offseason. I'm just going to be honest.
I want to see what he does in preseason before I start.
Looking good. His arm strength to the sideline is average at best, maybe a little below average. He's not looking great. Now, everything can change. I'm not here to crap on Trey Lance, but I hope he works out. But we can't sit here and act like we got Trey Lance. If I'm Dak, I'm like, I don't know what we're doing. We need to get a deal. And just call their bluff. What the hell do you think they would do then? They would be in a pickle, wouldn't they, Larry? I mean, Dak should just come out and say, he don't have to hold out, but he could say, I don't know what we're doing here. They haven't even offered me a contract. They have what does this organization do? They would hate him for it, but what does he care? He ain't gonna be here after this year, most likely. Why would he want to be?
Yeah, I mean, with the treatment that he's getting, I mean, why
every
would he want to
contract
stay?
he's had to leave blood on the field in order to get something. It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
That's all your players lately.
And they have all the money in the world, and they have easily a couple moves they could do. If they sign CD, we're going to save $12 million this year, even if we sign CD to the Justin Jefferson deal. We just will. It's easy. He'll probably count like $7 million against the cap.
And if you'd have done it before these other contracts are done, you'd have saved some more money as well.
Yeah,
before
it's just frustrating.
Jefferson
Right now, we're frustrated, people. Don't worry.
And that money that you saved, if you'd have done it earlier, would have been Calais Campbell being signed. He only signed for $2 million to go to Miami. It could have been Derrick Henry.
Anybody. I mean, and we don't want this, we don't want that. Well, you got to want somebody. You got to want somebody. No, I mean, you can't just say. It's not college, man. You have to go out and get a player now. Nowadays, you can go out and get players, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
And Brian, Dak is not a Jerry guy. He's not one of Jerry's kids. So
they didn't even want Dak.
What does that say for Dak? Like you not being one of Jerry's kids and having that relationship, for you not able to speak up and like say, you don't have to come out and like destroy the franchise, but at least speak up and say something. Like get my receiver signed.
That's what
get
I'm
my
saying.
Yeah, you're right.
What does that say about that?
That's what I always would tell Mark. I want my quarterback to be a little bit more aggressive towards ownership. Say, yo, do we want to win? Like, okay, everybody's hammering Jalen because he didn't have, I could be more rude, but have the back of Nick Sirianni. Yeah, basically, he threw a little dirt on him by his his shrug and non-comment. Well, maybe Dak should do that and go, yeah, I don't know what we're doing here. When they ask him all these questions, stop being a company guy. Stop being a company guy. It don't look good. Maybe the players in the locker room, you can't tell me there's not a couple players that are like, what the hell are you doing, Dak? Why are you? They're shitting on you from every angle. And other players, and you do nothing but have the company line. Come on out, rip somebody. Say, yeah, I don't know what we're doing. We did nothing.
It's like he plays it cool every time. Every time there's a press conference.
Remember Donovan and T.O.?
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, that just killed. That was locker room division right
Donovan
there.
couldn't handle it. That's what that was.
Donovan should have embraced it and said, "Hey, let's get my man restructured."
Exactly.
Yeah. And if he would have embraced
handle
it,
T.O.
there was enough shine to go around.
Yeah.
And they were so damn good together.
He couldn't handle T.O.
Good together.
And
and that's sad because T.O. made him that much better of a quarterback.
He I don't know, insecurities maybe, Donovan, maybe. He let his own insecurities get the better of him when that was you want to talk about Super Bowl. That would have been an opportunity for that team. And T.O. knew it. T.O. knew it. And he didn't want to leave, but he had to at that point.
Yeah.
For sure.
Teams are always gonna. Could you open the back door? These dogs are like it's like a herd that came in.
And you know what gets me upset? I mean, not me. I mean, I'm not upset about it. But Dak, when he sounds like a company man, like he's so cool about it.
I love Dak, but yeah, he's a company man.
In my opinion, when he does that though, he sounds selfish to me. Because to me, it's like I'm good regardless. I'm going to get paid regardless. But to me, if he wants more buy-in from the team, hey, let's get these guys paid. Or, if you want to resign me, let's get CD taken care of or something like that. To me, I just feel like his demeanor is, I'm good regardless. I'm going to get paid regardless. So whatever you do, you do you.
Rob, and Drew, you guys, I want to share this. My brother is an Eagles fan. And me and him have heated debates. We have the heated debates with each other back and forth. And I love it. It's wonderful. And me and him together, we're going to go to the Eagles and Dallas game together. That's going to be a fun experience for the both of us. But I know I want to ask Drew and Rob, I want to ask you guys, I know you don't always agree with what Howie does, but at least he does something. And that's something that I wish Stephen Jones would just do something. Like you see Dak, you see CD, like get him some help. something around him. Like just give him some, even the defense. Get a defensive tackle, a veteran, somebody to just help. I mean, you got all these young guys. Bring a veteran to help with these young guys. I mean, it's so frustrating, as a Cowboys fan. I look at my brother, he's happy. I look at him, he tells me, oh, and how he just made another move. I'm just looking at him like, oh man, whatever, man. Like these
and when people trash us, we can't defend ourselves when they go out and blow it like the Green Bay game. I hate every time I watch Stephen A. Smith, it's like, man. But what can you say? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I don't. I mean, there's just no need for that because that karma can turn around and bite us in the ass. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and trash you when we're out the first, game of the postseason as well. So we don't. On paper, it looked good, but putting it together is where it's going to matter. And I think we both as teams have questions coming into the season. But, to Larry, to what you just said, I think, in my opinion, the best move how we made this offseason, regardless of the signings and re-upping the contracts, when Devontae got paid, the first thing I thought is, damn, I hope AJ don't start throwing a fit. And then for him to go out and take care of him right afterwards, to make a non-issue, to keep it good, was, I think, the best thing he could do. Back to the whole TO thing, I'm just glad that we went in and took care of AJ as well after that, because I could have seen some shit going on in Philly that I definitely didn't want to deal with. So I'm glad he took care of AJ right after Devontae.
Yeah.
Just
and
real quick here.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let me get to it, and then I'll let you go, Drew. I'm going to give full context here. I've been seeing in the chat, and supposedly Mark did a video on it. Dak's not 100%. He had an MRI. They've been betting against the Cowboys. A sports bettor was saying that the line for Dallas over-under is now down to 10 just in the last 3 days. I know Rob's a bettor. Dak, now this is from the Ross Tucker podcast. Hold up here. What the hell happened? I lost it. There it is. Let's see. What the hell? Dak Prescott, he's not 100%, so they've been betting against the Cowboys. Basically, if that is genuine, the buzz going around, it makes sense that pro bettors are hammering the under and dropping the line for Dallas win total. However, there has been very little buzz about such a rumor outside of this little podcast nugget, so take everything with a grain of salt. Athlon Sports reported a team insider said, "Don't waste your time on the non-story." It seems like one of those deals where maybe I don't know, maybe it's a shoulder. Dak likes to overdo it, like a lot of quarterbacks. He'll maybe get a little soreness. I don't know. I don't know if it's in his knee. I don't know where it's at, but if I had to guess, it's probably in a throwing shoulder. He had an MRI. Whatever. It's probably a non-deal. Remember, he had the elbow last year. It didn't seem to really bother him until the Green Bay game. But, yeah, I mean, I got everybody that was putting that out in the chat that Mark said he wasn't. That's a non-story, but maybe we'll have to wait and see.
Is that come on, this is the silly season, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's
that's why I'm not going to get
Is it legit? Is it not? Just to piggyback on what my guy was saying, that is like, it wasn't always like that. The way it is now for the Eagles, it wasn't always like that. Like even in the early 2000s when, dang, my dogs made me lose my train of thought. But Andy Reid was the GM and the coach. I mean, Donovan went how many years without any help with Todd Pinkston and Thrash. I mean, just like God, we had some decent tight ends, but we didn't have any good wide receivers until T.O., and we only had that for a year and a half, right? So I think one of the benefits that Howie had, number one, was to sit under Andy Reid. Number two is when, Goof Troop came in to coach, he threw Howie in the back room, and Howie was got rejuvenated and came in and was like, look, here's a different understanding and different perspective on how we're going to get this team together. And I think that's one of the best things that happened to Howie was just being under Andy, being thrown in the back by Chip Kelly, and him coming out with a fire in his belly and saying, look, we're going to go for it as much as we can, as long as we can. And I think he's really done well at drafting better too. I think he's really done a better job at doing at drafting.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think Howie's fine. I'm actually surprised that they went down the road with Saquon, to be honest with you. Just to circle back to the Eagles since you brought him up. I'm a little surprised. Just me. It's just me. I don't know what you guys can comment on it, but I'd like to get Loyal and Larry's opinion, then we'll go to the Eagles guys. Listen, I understand you have him, so this is just all hypothetical, but I would have rather, me personally, as a Dallas fan, I would be more scared if you, let's say, added it back to DeAndre Swift, kept Reddick, went out and got a stud linebacker early on in free agency, and not brought in Saquon. I would have been way more scared about that. Me personally, as a Cowboy fan, I'm glad that you spent money on Saquon. You didn't really go out and really get a good linebacker. I liked Swift. Swift had just like this, almost 1,300 yards last year. I think you could have brought in a guy who was a better pass pro, guy to go with him. Re-sign Reddick. Reddick wanted it. He's a Temple. Yeah, he's from Temple. I mean, he's from Philly.
He's a Philly guy. He's from Philly.
So me personally, I just want to throw that out there. I think they would have been. I think it would have been. I think Howie gets caught up with the shiny object, and Howie, he would fit good in Dallas because Howie likes winning. I mean, he likes Dallas likes winning a negotiation. Howie likes winning the trade. Howie set the record this year in the NFL draft by I think he beat the Jimmy Johnson record with how many times he traded. He did. It's a real thing. He set a record with how many times the Eagles moved around in the draft, up and down. And that's what you got to do. You got to go up and get the guy that you want, then maybe drop down because you got everybody tiered up. I would, as a Cowboy fan, I'm okay with what you did. I would have been more worried if you would have brought Reddick back, went out and got a stud linebacker, any one of the ones that we were talking about early on in free agency. That would have been the way I would have went. I'm shocked at how he went with Saquon. But again,
we potentially have a stud linebacker, Brian.
Potentially, but
that's what I'm saying. We potentially have Devin White, who is potentially a stud
linebacker. You might,
linebacker.
but I mean, if you went out and got
Queen,
you could have went out and got
Queen.
Queen
got the
Patrick
same contract
Queen or something
Saquon
like
did.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he got $42 million, so roughly around what Saquon did.
That's
I don't
all
disagree
I was
with
saying.
you there. I see that, but I don't think how he looked at Saquon as a running back. I just think he looked at him as a football player. He looked at him as a run like McCaffrey.
I heard a comment on Dan Psilio's show about they're not going to use Saquon like a bell cow. Well, you're paying him like that. I don't know.
He won't last the season.
I think people are expecting too much out of Saquon. That's just me. I think they're expecting way too much. I think you're going to get – he's an unbelievable running back. He is. I think that Swift's a better pass catcher. He's a better pass blocker. I could see that, but you didn't pay him all that money to sit back and pass block either. You can get a back to do that. It'll be – here's the fun part. We get to watch it, That's what's cool. I'm going to see all the Eagles games. I'm going to be there seeing it. How's your schedule to start out? Do we know? I'm not going to do wins and losses.
Eagles?
They play Green Bay, don't they?
I know Brazil, the first game. Yeah, I'll bring it up. And then,
I believe it's Green Bay. Yeah, Green Bay.
I'm just curious the first month of the season.
We got Atlanta shortly after that. I know that in Philly. So I was looking at.
Yeah, let me look at it real quick. I'll bring it up here. Let's see here. Team schedules. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not doing wins and losses tonight, but we'll just look at it and get an idea.
That Green Bay game is
I think that's the game. If they win that game, then watch out. But let's see here. Okay. So Let me share it. There we go. You got Green Bay at home. That's what sucks.
Brazil.
I'd be pissed.
That's the home game. I know.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I did a video on that. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. They should be save that shit for the teams who don't have, like, the Commanders.
That should be a Jacksonville game.
Yeah, Jacksonville, exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay, in Brazil, whatever. It's not a home game. Against Green Bay, home against Atlanta. Okay, that's favorable. I'm just curious how it starts at New Orleans. That's a tough one, though. It's not easy. Early, well, let me just put it this way.
I think so too.
Early on, loud stadium, new offense, like Twiz. If Twiz is still in the chat, remember Twiz last year? You were right. Twiz, you were right. Remember, or no, I was right. You were breaking my balls. I said, Dallas might struggle early because of McCarthy and the new offense. And Twiz like, oh, you're making excuses. I just know that's just what happens. Now, the good teams can find a way to win, but Dallas kind of, struggled. Remember they had, I think, a week, 5 or 6 bye week? I think it's a week 6 or 7 bye week. They struggled until the bye. Then they got and made all those changes to the offense. I believe you guys have a week 5 bye. Yes, okay. So at New Orleans, I think that's going to be a little tough. I'm not saying you're going to lose it.
That was Hurts' breakout game.
Huh?
That was the first. Hurts' first game went out there as a starter was against the Saints.
And he won.
He destroyed them. Yeah.
And then at Tampa, okay, so it's back-to-back, and then you get a bye. So I think the bye actually is good for the Eagles then, just to kind of, okay, how are we doing offensively? How's Kellen doing? What do we got to do to change? Because, listen, it's not going to be perfect. You know that. You just hope you can get some wins while it's going on. So that's a good bye week for the Eagles, I think. And then you're home against the Browns. That's a tough one, but it's after the bye. Then you go at the Giants. Okay, you never lose to the Giants. At the Bengals, that could be tough.
That's a tough one.
Home against the Jags. At Dallas, okay, we'll see. Home against the Commanders. At the Rams. I like the Rams this year.
I'll be at that game.
We beat them last year, and I mean, with us to beat them last year when we had.
I think the Rams are going to be a lot better this year.
I think so too.
I think the Rams will be a lot better.
Oh yeah, Corum. I think Corum.
No, they don't have
there.
Donald, but I think they're going to be good. I really think the Rams.
I think they win that division.
I think they might win that division. Correct.
I agree.
At the Ravens, so that's a tough one. You got a Thursday night, but then you got like 10 days to get ready for the Rams. That's the good thing.
Yeah.
And then
that Ravens game, that's the game that
the game.
Carter and Jordan Davis have to step up.
And then you got a gimme at home against Carolina, home against Pittsburgh. Okay, that's not bad.
No.
At Washington, home against. So you finished nice because you got a lot of home games, and then home against Dallas, and then home against the Giants. So I mean, I think your tough stretch. It's probably at Dallas, home against Washington, at the Rams, at the Ravens.
Yeah.
Even here, actually, it might start here. Week 8 maybe, at the Bengals, home against the Jags, at Dallas. Because the Jags and Doug Peterson, they're going to want to do something. They're going to want to spoil you because, that's just how Doug is.
I always say, and I throw out that stat that, Jalen against teams, winning teams, is I think he's only lost like maybe one game. He's like 11-1 or 10-1 or something like that.
Oh yeah,
he plays really good against really good record against 500 teams. That speaks a lot. I think getting off the gate, if we can go
awake, Loyal?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
He's like,
I'm sitting there watching TV and listening to this. Watching the fireworks.
Yeah, I think if we could do 4-1, like if we win that first game against Green Bay, I think we can go 4-0 into the bye.
Well, if that happens, then you guys are really doing well. I think, honestly, my opinion, just not being that. I'm close, but I would say 1-1, 2-2. I think 3-1, best case, a 2-2, but I don't think that's horrible either way because like I said, you're home against the Browns after the bye. That's a nice spot. At the Giants, at the Bengals. I mean, that's a tough stretch there. So yeah, I think Dallas is going to be 500 at their bye. Dallas is bye week 5, I think. I think they're going to be around 500. I think they're going to lose probably the opener in Cleveland just because. But we got time to do the schedule predictions. I'm going to wrap this up. My wife got home. We were almost going on 2 hours here. We'll just start it out with, we'll let Loyal go first. Loyal, so anything you're looking forward to for the Cowboys? You guys can talk about the Eagles, but Loyal, I'm sure we'll talk Cowboys. What are you looking forward to? Anything that
I just want to see what our new players have.
You mean like in training
I want to
camp,
see
right?
what our line looks like.
Yeah.
I want to see, our new toys. See how they fare. See if they're week 1 starters or if they're going to have the time to grow or what.
Yeah, that's the one thing I would say I'm looking forward about the preseason because we're going to play a lot of these guys. So we're going to find out pretty quick, if they always love their own guys. So I would say let's just hold your enthusiasm until you get to the regular season. But it'd be nice if Overshown picks up where he left off before the injury. He was all over the place. I know Drew gives me a hard time, but just believe me when I tell you, if he was playing for the Eagles and you saw what we saw last year, he was all over the place. He was ridiculously good. But
Overshown is a beast, man.
But he came back from an ACL, and who the hell knows? I'm not going to sit here and flex over somebody that I don't know. He's looking good, but he hasn't done nothing. He's in shorts. So, Larry, just give me your thoughts. 3 weeks out. I mean, what are you looking forward to, man? You can talk about the season.
I will.
Whatever.
I will say it's pretty much like what Loyal said, but I want to add to that as well. I do want to see the young guys, especially. I look forward to the preseason, but what I do want to see is what coaching is going to do, especially in particular Mike Zimmer. I would love to see exactly how he's going to work with what he have and how he's going to make them and how they're going to look. Especially to me, and I'll say this, if Zimmer can handle a guy like Deion Sanders, and we all know how Deion Sanders was as a player, if he can handle Deion,
at it.
Yes. And guess what? I just see such
friends.
Exactly. And I see that now, and I see Micah Parsons. I'm like, all this stuff that they're talking between Zimmer and Micah Parsons. I'm like, if any coach could handle a player like Micah Parsons, it's Mike Zimmer. And I'll leave it right there at that.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Mike Zimmer. Coaching, he's a hell of a football coach. When he first came in under Parcells, he was told to coach a 3-4, and this is the type of coach he is. He never really coached a 3-4, but that he was told to coach a 3-4, and don't you know, he made him a top 10 defense with Dexter Coakley and Dat Wynn. Like small linebackers that Parcells hated until Zimmer coached them. It was pretty impressive what he could do. But listen, we'll see. He needs some pieces, people. You can't just do it without a defensive tackle. Like I said, I'm not even bringing up Mozzie because I don't have any faith in Mozzie. He doesn't want to put on the weight anymore. He's going to be a 3-tech, so don't expect him to be a run stuffer at this point. We'll see. He's got to prove it to me at this point. He's a bottom of the round pick, though. I just want to remind people, everybody wants to compare him to Jordan Davis. And Jordan Davis was top 15 guy, multiple picks, traded up. He dropped down a little bit. And he's not in Jordan Davis's class as far as I'm concerned. But I'm not going to give up on Mozzie either, but I'm not expecting nothing from Mozzie. If we need help from outside of the organization, from somebody towards the end of camp that wants to make a trade, if maybe they drafted a young guy and they're willing to get rid of a veteran, we need somebody.
I agree with you there, Game Time. We need
somebody.
We need somebody.
But it needs somebody. And I will say that Hankins wasn't all that last year. And if you look at Pro Football Focus, believe it or not, he didn't have the best of grades by the end of the year. We all thought he had a great year, but apparently he didn't. And they could have brought him back. He signed for a little over the minimum. It's not like he's making that much. So we'll see, but we're not there yet on our defensive line. We are not. I'm not going to flex over nothing right now. I'm a little bit discouraged of what I'm seeing, but we shall see. Okay, I turn it over to my Eagle Nation here. We'll have Drew, and then we'll finish up with Rob. Drew, go ahead, man. The table's yours. What do you?
Yeah.
You're 3 weeks out. Go ahead, man. You do you.
I just want to. I'm hoping that everybody just have a healthy preseason. No major injuries.
Yeah, true that.
I think Dallas has question marks, just like the Eagles have question marks, and I would have to put those two teams right now still in contention for the division. I'm comfortable. I think I'm more confident where my team is right now. Less distraction, less noise around what's going on right now. I think our schedule favors us. I think Dallas has a really hard schedule to start. And
I think you're right about that.
If you don't start, if you're not 500 by your bye, then it's going to be a long season. And I'm saying this and I'm not trying to be funny. And let's say if you guys are like 2 and 5, you could potentially Dak asking for a trade up out of Dallas. To keep
I
the ball
love
rolling.
weed. Look at you, 420.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
But other than that, I think I'm really confident going into it. There's still question marks, but looking at our history, I'm confident.
What I think is cool, Drew, though, in my opinion, is you can be confident, but there's still question marks, and this is for everybody.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's what's fun about it, because if it was just like it. I'm sure you remember the Donovan teams. They were all so good. Andy, you just, every year you knew they were going to be good. Now, they didn't get the job done ultimately under Andy Reid, but you know what I mean? Every year the division went through Philly. It's not like that. It's pretty open.
Well, it was
like
a weak
you
division
said, Washington
too,
could.
The division was super weak, man. It was really bad.
When?
During Andy Reid and Donovan's reign.
Yeah.
Dallas.
But you know what
really
I mean? As a Dallas fan,
Giants
and you were adding T.O. and all, it was like, oh, shit. There you go, Weed. You're in the hopper, bro. Thomas Garrett's coming in at the end, so we'll say hi and then bye. But, I just know from, like, the Cowboy point of view, that was our down period, obviously. We didn't have very good teams during that time period under Donovan up until Romo really started to take off, and I believe we beat you in the playoff. That's when Donovan had the guitar game. I think that was a playoff game, but whatever. It doesn't matter. That every year you knew the Eagles were going to be good, and then here, the NFC East, it is up for grabs. As good as that, the Eagles' offense looks, the defense has a lot of question marks. It could be great. Those rookies can turn out to be really, really good and like, holy shit, it's a juggernaut. Or they could struggle like normal rookies do. And, they opens a door for Washington. We saw their schedule. It's tough. The Giants, I don't see it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I don't see it. But I think it's anybody's game. I don't think it's going to be a runaway, but who the hell knows? What's up, Thomas Garrett? What's going on, man?
What's up, Brian? No, I'm outside. I'm on my way home. It's hot as hell out here. Hottest night of the year here in Nashville.
Oh wow!
They popping fireworks in the background. No, I'm out. I've been out, and I'm going back to the house. I'm on my mountain bike.
Nice. Well, we're wrapping up here, but I wanted to bring you in just to say we're gonna wrap up. Rob A is going to. He's gonna conclude, and then we'll let. I'll ask you a question, Thomas, and then we'll wrap it up. So I'll let you have one more say. Rob, go ahead, buddy. Finish her out, man.
Hey, just like what Loyal said, I'm looking to see what these rookies could do for us. I want to see what Cooper, DeJean, and what Kenyon could do. I'm more focused on and more kind of interested to see how our defense is going to pan out. I think our offense will come along. I mean, I don't think it's going to take a bit for us to gel together, but I think the two things working in our favor is a good offensive line and a good run game. I think if we utilize those and not get too pass happy the first couple of weeks, just ease into it and just run the ball, continue to just develop a good run game, I think our offense will be okay. I'm a little bit more worried about our defense. So I want to see what our as Drew put it, our youth players could do. Keely Ringo, and our rookies and CJ, GJ. I want to see what my defense is about. I want to see if Big Fangio could get them gelling and playing some good ball.
Yeah, if you can get, and this is again from a Cowboy perspective, but I feel like I'm pretty fair. If you get anything from the Georgia linebacker, Nakobe Dean. If all of a sudden he's making plays or something, and Nolan Smith is showing up because he's going to get an opportunity. That was a lot of the reason why they didn't bring Reddick back too. You got Milton, you got Sweat, for whatever reason, they're saying Sweat's not going to be brought back after this year. I don't know. Maybe he's going to want too much money. I don't know, but that's what I'm hearing the last couple of days on the local radio, that Josh Sweat's going to be done. But you still have him, But they need to see, and they're going to give Nolan Smith a big run. So, that's what he needs. He needs playing time, just like Dallas, like Sam Williams with Dallas. He doesn't need to be worried about anything except going out and playing a lot. And if he can't do it, we're going to know. If he can do it, Sam Williams is a beast in stature and speed and athletic ability, but you got to play football. These guys. So that's one thing I would say, looking at the Eagles, that if you can get some contributions out of guys from last year's draft, or, that maybe you thought was going to be good, when do you guys draft Nakobe Dean? Was that 2 years ago?
2 years ago, the same year we drafted Jordan Davis.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Right. So, maybe, I guess Thomas is gone. Maybe, maybe you get some player. If Fangio can dip into something and get these guys playing for you. We feel that way in Dallas about Sam Williams. So.
Yeah, so I want to see Devin White resurrect his career. I mean, I think he has a high ceiling. He has a high ceiling, and I think he has a good culture there. I want to see him be how he was his rookie year and just be a game wrecker out there. He has the potential.
I think the Eagles have just a slight advantage because, again, the scheme that the Eagles are running is not new. They've been running that scheme for the last 3, maybe 4 years. You just have the innovator that's taking the reins of it. But it shouldn't be like a huge learning curve, like coming in with a whole brand new system. Like Dallas is coming in with an entirely brand new system, in which, to be quite frankly, they don't have the pieces to run Zimmer's defense. Like, I love Mike Zimmer's defense, but you got to have those beefy tackles in the middle.
I agree with that. He needs the big boys up front.
The learning curve for us pertaining to, getting Vic Fangio's scheme as opposed to Dallas's learning Zimmer's scheme. Like, what is Micah in that scheme? What is he? Is he a defensive end? Is he a linebacker?
I don't even know. I couldn't tell you.
Is he even going to want to play linebacker? He doesn't want to play linebacker because he doesn't want to get linebacker money.
But
exactly. That's where I was going to go with that. Drew, is that the Jones are going to say he's a linebacker.
He can't physically take playing defensive end for 18 weeks.
Man,
I mean, he can't.
Might get 3 first-round picks for him.
And I get a lot of crap from I love Micah. Don't get me wrong, but
Micah's a monster.
He's already talking about being the highest paid non-quarterback. I'm sorry, he's not Myles Garrett. I have a lot of Dallas fans. Well, he's close. No, he's not. He's not Myles Garrett. He's not. I mean, he could take over games, but then if you play a good team who has a great offensive line and running game, like the Eagles did last 2 years, they've taken advantage of Michael. That's coaching. So, and I love, don't get me wrong, having a Micah it hides a lot of things because he's so damn athletic and so good that he just beats you. He'll just beat something. I mean, he'll just beat you, and it's like, you can't do nothing about it because it's a strip sack, it's a fumble recovery, and all of a sudden he just wrecked your game. But, he's just frustrating, man.
Michael can beat you in so many phases.
But you know what I mean? It's just frustrating, Thomas, and I'll let you finish up. My question to you, Thomas, is what's your outlook on the Cowboys as we're 3 weeks away from training camp? What are you thinking? What are you looking forward to? And we'll take it from there.
Well, like I told, damn car, like I told, I'm outside, y'all. I'm in my driveway. Good. I'm in my driveway. I just got home. Like I told Mark this past Sunday. I hope we eventually sign somebody between, Dak, CD, or Michael. I hope we sign somebody, and I hope that we can go in this training camp in Oxnard injury free, and just hope everything from there is positive. Everybody is trying to. It's sad because everybody is always trying to look for something negative so they can try to keep a lot of damn drama going.
Silly
keep
season.
The drama. It's silly season. I'm talking about when we in training camp in Oxnard. My thing is keep the drama king and queens at bay. Keep them as far away as you can. But we also have an owner who likes that shit. He likes to keep.
Man.
I don't think you can keep the owner and the GM away from training camp because that's your biggest drama kings and everything right there. They bring that
Thomas
drama.
Will tell you, as soon as the game's over, right? Like you have the head coach. He walks by Jerry, who's got a horde of reporters. Now, this is before McCarthy says anything. He hasn't gone to the podium yet. Jerry's already holding court. If Jerry doesn't understand that that's a problem, and he's not. He's in his 80s, people. He don't care.
Attention.
He doesn't care. He wants to win.
No, he doesn't care.
He's the Al Davis of the Dallas Cowboys.
He's not changing.
Leather-faced Al
Mark,
Davis.
Brian, he doesn't care. He don't get it,
I think he gets it, but I think he's putting his nose in our face saying, I don't care what you think. Just keep buying the hats and
the
whatever.
And
and he should have learned 30 years ago. This is one of the main reasons why Jimmy Johnson left. This is one of the main reasons why Jimmy Johnson left. You don't get it. And if I was an owner and if I knew I had that problem, I would have been like, hold on, wait a minute. I could have had as many Super Bowls if I would have never gotten my old ass in the way. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm gonna do what George Steinbrenner did. I'm gonna get out the way, just sit back, and let the players do this. Keep my mouth shut and just play with my grandchildren. George Steinbrenner did it.
Yeah,
he won almost 10 World Series after when he done it. Jerry, why you can't do it? You want to emulate your idols. You want to emulate George Steinbrenner. You want to emulate Al Davis and them so bad. One of your idols done it, and he won almost 10 championships with it. Why you can't do that? Oh, that's right. That's right. You're a junkie. You're an attention-seeking junkie.
You're a junkie. Oh, God, I
need the
You
attention.
for positivity. Jesus Christ.
No, I'm giving you the positivity because I'm giving you the positivity because this. I'm giving you as much positivity I'm giving you as much positivity as I can.
I know. I'm playing with you.
I'm telling you, Jerry.
I haven't been much, I haven't been any better. But like I said,
I'm telling you, Jerry, take a few steps back.
It could all change.
if you take a few steps back, it may be a blessing among blessings.
No, I just don't see it happen,
it ain't gonna
Thomas.
kill you. It ain't gonna kill you if you take a few steps back.
Maybe if he falls in one of them sinkholes, maybe that's about it. That's about it. I don't know. But all right, that's it, people. I think it's been went 2 hours and 15 minutes. I think it's been it was been cool. Show. I think we talked about a lot of stuff, and when in a time where there's not a lot to talk about. So I appreciate everybody coming in. Everybody, we got a new member. Drew is now a channel member, so I appreciate you, Drew. We may not always agree, but if we could be classy and respect each other, that's what matters. And saying that, I wish everybody has a happy, healthy, safe. Don't be blowing off your fingers and pulling no JPP and blowing your hand up with the fireworks. Just have your hand open. Don't ever close your hand around fireworks. But
giant things.
Yeah, right. I mean, every year I hear fireworks going off, and I just have visions of JPP's hand blowing up. Rob, look at you. You didn't have to do that, Rob. Thank you so much, Rob. But the super chat goes into the hopper. But with that note, I'm going to get out of here, people. Happy 4th of July, everybody. I'll see you guys.
Happy 4th, everybody.
Right, happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th.
Late.
Hey, man. Wait.
Late.
I'm cool. This is me. We're going to jump on that spaceship and get out of here. Let's go.
No judgment. Shoot.
To smash that subscribe button. You know what? I'm going to give it, I'll give it 4 out of 5 avocados. Korg?
I was raised by avocados.
Oh, my God. Just kill me now.
Ho, ho, ho.
Green Giant.
Hey! We know each other.
Oh.
He's a friend from work.
I think it's going really well. I know. I mean, this is literally the first time I took my gun out of the holster. Right. And that is why we need a triumphant video. What? You guys led us to this. Thank you.